Good evening, good evening, good evening, everybody. Just tell everybody that we are live or not. Just ask everybody, okay? All of you. Everybody, फटाफट चलो 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 मैसेज करो सबको. Come on, guys, message everybody that we are live. Here. What happened over here? Is it not live yet? We are live, no? What happened? What happened? Tell me, everybody. Comment, 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 फटाफट. Message, message, message. Here. अच्छा, something happened here. Yeah, I think we are good. चलो 5 are waiting. Message me बच्चों in the comment. Yeah. कामडे नमस्कार. आर्य नमस्कार. गुड इवनिंग बेटा. सृजन गुड इवनिंग. वैष्णवी शेट्टी गुड इवनिंग. श्रेया, श्रीरक्षा, तनुश्री, भाव्य. चलो फंटेस्टिक. भरत गुड इवनिंग बेटा. हाउ आर यू भरत? I hope you enjoyed a Ganpati festival at least. Somebody messaged me Chauti. I think it is Chauti something, na? Somewhere I think in south. Yeah. And Ganpati festival. Great. I hope you have good time, bachcho. Yes, at least you ate a lot. And I hope you studied also a lot, है ना? So Ganpati is your god for knowledge, wisdom. So I hope you took the blessings. Ready? चलो आगे बढ़े. Let us go ahead. All of you. Chauti, yeah, Chauti. Correct. Bhavya. अरे मैसेज करो. Trisha guys, you're not active only on your own channel, huh? Like the video. First of all, बच्चों, go like the video. Go. Come on. Everybody. Right. चलो आगे बढ़े हम लोग बच्चों. Others. Everybody. बच्चों. नलायको. All right. Chalo, tell me, bachcho, had we started? I can't see your messages, Re Baba. What is the issue? Is there issue with the messages? Bhavya, Tanushri, Shuraksha, Shreya, Vaishnavi, Srujan. Comment karo fatapat, guys. Comment so that we can go ahead. At times I get doubtful whether the stream has hanged or what. That's why I don't know. That's why I'm asking to keep on commenting. Even if it is just thumbs up. Samjha? Oh, nalaiko. Comment. Wait, I'll have to restart only the video. Okay, I'm getting some message. Sri Raksha, I got the message. Chalo. And why others are not joining with us? Any idea? Early first day we had, I think 70 students, no? What happened to others? They are okay with studying themselves. Is that what they said? No problem. चलो आगे बढ़े हम लोग. कामडे, आर्य, भरत. All right. Please share the links with all of your friends and we can start. चलो. I think I already started with this chapter, बच्चों, prospectus. अरे हाँ है ना? Tell me what I've covered. Tell me what I've covered. I think I've covered this. I think 26. Not 26, sorry. I think bachcho had covered 23, public offer and private placement. Okay. Please pay attention. Let me just highlight on something small, very small part. This chapter is divided into 2 parts. Okay, pay attention. In bare act itself, bachcho, in the bare act itself, check here. Part 1 is public offer from section 23 to 41. Okay, everybody. And part 2 is bachcho what? Private placement, only one section. Private placement, only one section. Okay, everybody. Vaishnav Badal, good evening. So whatever you want to furnish or get the process about public offer, you have to follow everything from section 23 to 41. Okay. And only for one section बच्चों we have what? Private placement. चलेगा? आगे बढ़े हम लोग. All of you. चलो फटाफट. Let's go ahead. Tell me, have you covered 23? Yes. 24 is not part of your syllabus right now. Okay. And I think I covered this. What did I cover बच्चों? I covered deep prospectus. अरे हाँ है ना बच्चों? That's what I remember. You covered बच्चों what? Deep prospectus. And also I think I covered. I think I finished all of this now. Tell me fatapat. Can you give me numbers quickly, bachcho? Can you give me section numbers which we have covered in the last lecture? Everybody? Bolo fatapat. Quickly, everybody, can you just quickly type फटाफट? What we had covered in the last lecture? Section numbers, can you type बच्चों? We have covered deep prospectus. अरे हाँ है ना, कुछ तो बोलो फटाफट. Type. Everybody. Okay, Srujan, 28 completed. Offer for sale. And I think deep prospectus also we had covered because I've written something here. Deep prospectus also finished, completed. Barabar, everybody? All of you okay? Chalo. What else? Did we do shell prospectus and all? Arya, thank you. Abhijit, thank you. 28 deep prospectus done. Okay, then we have done shell prospectus and 33 also average prospectus. तो prospectus हमने सब खत्म कर दिया. Okay, prospectus we have finished everything. Okay. Thank you, Arya. Thank you. हाँ चलो ठीक है. At least we got the idea. All right, बच्चों. All right, 27 not done. ना? हाँ आ जाओ. Let's finish one by one. 27 चलेगा बच्चों? Shikha, good evening. Thank you. Okay, fine. Okay. 27. Variation in terms contracts of prospectus or objects in prospectus. Whatever object you had given, in the prospectus that you have to issue, that you have to follow, it is for that object which only you have raised money. So it will be very, very unfair if the company shows something else and uses the money for something else. That will be very, very unfair or wrong. So what should happen over here? The company should use the money only for the purpose for which they are shown, or the purpose they are shown in the prospectus. Can they change the object but normally after getting the money? This will be but deception. After getting the money, saying that we are going to do XYZ business, and they want to do what? MNO business. So this is very, very wrong. So the company, no company is allowed to change the object after getting the money. This will be deception. This will be fraud. However, there is a provision done. However, there is a provision made in the syllabus or in the act that the company can utilize the money for something else also. Everybody? That means after getting the money. And that is what variation in terms, contracts or objects of the prospectus. Now, how to do that, bacho? How to do that? By passing of SR. By bacho what? Passing of SR. That is possible. By passing bacho of what? SR. So, here SR will be passed, and by what? Can you quickly tell me, bacho? Can you whatever type? By which method of poll? By which method of voting? By which method of voting? SR by how? By show of hands, demand for poll, electronic means, or postal ballot. Quickly, bacho. Comment. All of you, quickly. Everybody? That bacho will be by postal ballot. Are hai na? SR bacho by what? Postal ballot. Very, very important. Okay, bacho, very important. Very good, bacho. Very good. Now again, you will also give the publication newspaper about the notice that you are going to do voting about that resolution, bacho. You have to give a notice in the newspaper. One in English and one in local language. Okay. Now local language means which one? Local language. Anisha, good evening. Zimba, Zuba, good evening. Okay, nice name. Whatever name you put. So one in English paper and one in local language. Local language of the RO. Local language of the registered office. Okay? That why? Clearly justifying the reason for such variation. That where you want to use the new money, this money for new business, and why you want to do that. Samjha bachcho? And common sense, the company bachcho will not use this money for trading. Okay, on a stock exchange. Samjha? Fatapat bade hum log? Chalo. So by passing of SR through postal ballot, you can change the object or terms in the prospectus. And the notice bacho of that SR shall contain the following details. The original purpose for which you had shown in the prospectus, how much total money you have raised, how much you have already utilized, how much that original object has been fulfilled. Now, how much money is lying with you, ideal, that is unutilized money, and the details of the proposed variation. That where you are changing, where you want to use or wish to use that money where you want to do that, and that you have to give, as well as the reason and justification that why you want to make the changes. Clear? आगे बढ़े. All right. Advertisement of the notice will be in which form? PAS1. Okay, everybody? PAS1. समझा? It will also be uploaded on website. And lastly, important, even if now SR means बच्चों 75%. और हाँ ना बच्चों, SR means what? 75%. Yes, चलिए वरुण, good evening. Super. Okay. Yeah, ध्यान दो सब लोग. Yes. So SR बच्चों means what? 75%. That means there can be other people na 10%, 20%, maximum 25% who had said no, or who don't want to change the object of the company. What about them? We can't just compulsorily take them ahead with us. We may give option, but pay attention. What did I say? We may give them option to exit from the company. Samjha? So please pay attention. This is important. Dissenting shareholders, that means who do not agree, will be given opportunity to exit. At what price? Exit means what? Go away from the company, na? Take the money and go. Take the money and go. But at what price? The price, etc. will be decided as per SEBI regulations. Samjha? Everybody? So there are case studies often asked, at times what you asked, that a company wishes to change the object after raising the money. Can it do so? Answer is normally no. However, there is exception. That means they can do it by passing of SR by postal ballot. The notice of that resolution will be also given in newspaper. That just now we discussed. Currently here. And those who say no or do not agree, they shall be given a chance to exit. समझा? They are called dissenting shareholders. Understood बच्चों? अरे बोलो हाँ. Everybody. बढ़े आगे. चलो. I want to cover 26 first. 25 I've already covered, है ना? Red herring I think also I've covered. I think prospectus was entirely covered, है ना? चलो, come to बच्चों 26. Matters to be stated in prospectus, I'll again obviously discuss from examination point of view. चलेगा? There's no time to go into the conceptual clarity and this and that, okay? Mainly we're doing from examination point of view, what is very, very important. Prospectus to be stated in prospectus. Now, what all are the contents of prospectus that is given in section 26, okay? तो ध्यान दो. सब लोग बच्चों वीडियो को लाइक कर दो. भरत, जिम्बा, अनीशा, शिखा, those have come later on, okay? लाइक कर दो वीडियो को सब लोग. Trisha also, come on guys. Like the video फटाफट. लाइक कर दो पहले, लाइक कर दो. चलो आगे बढ़े हम लोग. एवरीबडी बच्चों रेडी? तो ध्यान दो. What did I say? It shall be the first and foremost. The prospectus is always dated and signed. The prospectus is always what? Dated and signed. Clearly, everybody? It should have date and it should have sign. The date on the prospectus is deemed as, I'll repeat, the date on the prospectus is deemed as date of its publication. Okay, बच्चों मैंने क्या बोला? The date given on the prospectus is deemed as the date of its publication. Publication means what? Issued to public. Issued to public. आगे बढ़ो मैं बच्चों. अरे बोलो हाँ. All right. FI is okay. Financial information, whatever is required to be disclosed in prospectus, that will be bachcho recommended by SEBI. So here Companies Act has no role to tell what all should be the contents of prospectus. The bachcho power is given to SEBI. आगे बढ़ो मैं. Statutory information also okay. That is declaration to be given by the company that we have complied with SCRA, Securities Contracts Regulation Act, है ना? Securities Contract Regulation Act, SEBI Act, this your Companies Act, and all the rules also of that. Okay, and all the rules also. Simple. आगे बढ़े हम लोग. Star mark this बच्चों. Please come back here and star mark. All of you. फटाफट. Quickly बच्चों, all of you. Star mark here. That means you need not prepare the prospectus. Okay, there are 2 points. There are but you need not prepare the prospectus. When? Issue to existing members or debenture holders. I have written the example also here. Issue to existing members or debenture holders. अरे हाँ है ना? Who are these बच्चों? If you remember. When do you issue shares to existing members? That can be right shares or bonus shares. अरे हाँ है ना? Or to your okay, and debenture holders. Again, so you are issuing to your own people only. You are not issuing to public at large, so but you need not prepare prospectus. Samjha? All of you? Please understand these exceptions are important. In law, always focus on exception. So please by heart this. Issue to existing members or debenture holders. Any kind of security which issued to what? Existing shareholders or debenture holders. Clear? Need not prepare 26(1) or need not prepare 26 prospectus. Samjha? Or the contents need not be as per section 26. दूसरा, important. If the shares or debentures are uniform means what बच्चों? Same. in all respects with already issued shares, debentures which are listed on a recognized stock exchange. That means if the company is already listed, the company shares or debentures are already listed, so it is again issuing a new not category but a new installment, again fresh issue of shares or debentures, but the category or the type of share or debenture is already listed on stock exchange. So there's nothing new for the company to share over here because it is already listed company. And which practically speaking, for listed company, there are lots of compliances. All compliances are there already. So it need not much issue another prospectus for doing a further issue of share or debentures of the category or type of such type of category which are already listed on a stock exchange. बात समझी कि नहीं? फटाफट बच्चों बताओ मुझको, कमेंट करो, कमेंट. Understood, बच्चों? Tell me there are two exceptions. Which one? If the issue is to such recipients who are already existing shareholders or debenture holders. Or second, bachcho, what is second exception? That issue is of such shares or debentures which are already listed on stock exchange. Samjha? So this bachcho here in second category we are doing a further issue of shares or debentures. Tell me bachcho फटाफट समझा कि नहीं? एक तो otherwise give me thumbs up in the comment. Very good, Arya. Okay, boys and girls. फटाफट. Very good, guys. चलो आगे बढ़ता हूँ. All right. Important. That is again much common sense. Here I had told you the date issued in the prospectus, indicated in the prospectus, the date of shall be the deemed to be the date of its publication. That means publication to the public. Okay. आगे. Shashant, good evening, beta. Prospectus to be issued after delivery to Babu. Babu means ROC. That is common sense, bachcho. You will always register that prospectus with ROC first. Only then you can give it to public. Otherwise, it is invalid. It is a big crime. Okay, you can't give the prospectus to public without getting it first registered with ROC. Okay. Now over here, let me first focus first on time period. Many students but still get confused today also. When I compare 26.7, okay, you can see here 26.7 or section 26 and section 32. There is a big difference or big gap. Again, I'll repeat. If it is a normal prospectus, it should be registered with ROC at least 90 days. At least 90 days, है ना? Check here. Within 90 days before the issue. Within 90 days before the issue. That means the date on which you have registered with ROC. From that maximum within 90 days, you should give it to public. Again, I'll repeat. The date on which you have registered the prospectus with ROC. From that maximum within 90 days, you should publish that prospectus to public. Or issue the prospectus to the public. Is it okay, bachcho? All of you okay here? So there can be maximum 90 days gap. 90 days gap maximum. Yeah, okay. Section 32, red herring, you will tell me what should be the gap. You will tell me, whatever you comment in the comment section. These dates are important for us to remember. You will comment quickly the number of days gap in the red herring prospectus registered with ROC and public issue of that red herring prospectus. बोलो बच्चों फटाफट. All of you फटाफट बताओ. बोलो बच्चों. Anybody? Nobody? So here bachcho, let me tell you, 932 is what section 32 red herring is 3 days gap. At least 3 days gap. Okay, and section 26 is what 90 days gap maximum. Are hai na? Red herring is bachcho what 3 days gap maximum. Okay, and section 26 bachcho gap is how much maximum? 90 days. Samjha? Please remember these small things. You can make a note otherwise if you want. Samjha bachcho? See, these are the small things which are going to help or matter in the exam later on. Samjha? Very good. Chalo. आगे बढ़ो मैं. Then 26.5. Prospectus bachcho, pay attention. Will it is not include, but it will include expert statement under certain circumstances. Okay, there will be what statement of an expert. Who shall be bachcho an expert? It can be any CA, CS, CMA, lawyer, engineer, valuer, anybody. So that is not a big thing. Okay, check here. Expert includes engineer, valuer, CA, CS, CMA, etc. Any other person. Okay, that is okay. So that is not as per some qualification. But such experts should not be involved in the promotion, management, incorporation or management of the company. Check here. What all? You should not be engaged in the formation, promotion or management of the company. Who is not, bachcho, not. We don't need him. Clear everybody? So he should not be bachcho part of management. Clear? That is point number 1. Then he has given a written consent. Consent in writing. That is okay with the issue of the prospectus. Point number 1. Okay. Point number 2. Clear till here? Then he has not withdrawn such consent till the time of delivery of copy to ROC. So he's okay with all the data mentioned in the prospectus till the time, bachcho, it is handed over to ROC. Clear? And he has not withdrawn his consent. And such everything, bachcho, all these details will be mentioned in the prospectus. And a statement to that effect, bachcho, shall be included in prospectus. Samjha kya, bachcho? Everybody okay till here? So what did I say? Which kind of expert is important? Who is not part of management, promotion, formation of the company? Clear? He has given a written consent that he is okay with all the details given in the prospectus. And he has not withdrawn this consent. Till when? Till the time of bachcho handing over this prospectus to the ROC for filing. And a statement of all of this, bachcho, will be given in the prospectus. I hope this is clear. Bachcho, all of you okay? Bolo फटाफट. Everybody okay? ठीक है? चलो. On the front page of prospectus, there will be a cover page. The cover page, bachcho, will mention, okay, of every prospectus, okay? The prospectus shall have mentioned on cover page that copy of prospectus has been delivered to ROC for filing. Samjha? That means prospectus is 500, 600 pages, bachcho, long. So here on every prospectus, on the cover page, you will mention what? This prospectus was delivered to ROC for filing. Second, specify any documents required by this section to be attached to the copy so delivered or refer to statements included in the prospectus. We specify these documents. You will just look at the diagram over here. Simple. Look at this diagram. I hope all of you got my notes. Everybody has my notes. If at all you have any issues, है ना? बढ़ू मैं आगे. So check here. Cover page is there, and the cover page, bachcho, what will you write? A copy is delivered to ROC. And a list of documents submitted to ROC. That means if anybody wishes to check any further details, that whatever you have mentioned in prospectus is correct or not. So you have submitted those actual copies to ROC. Anybody can go and check that. So you're giving a list of documents which you have submitted to ROC. Hua? 26 bachcho complete. 27 bachcho also complete. 28 was what? Offer for sale? Complete. Samjha? 29 question is never asked, but I wish to cover it. Chalega ke bachcho? All of you okay till here? बोलो ना बच्चों, चलेगा? थोड़ा सा quickly cover. I tell you the purpose. You should never miss the purpose of the section. Public offer of securities to be in demat form. Okay, bachcho, compulsory in what? Demat form. So henceforth, all the public offers, bachcho, will be always compulsory, always in what? Demat form. Are हाँ या ना? All of you okay लियो? Mainly, this section is for unlisted public company. मैंने क्या बोला? Unlisted public company. Clear till here? बोलो हाँ. Everybody? Unlisted public company. Check here. What does section 29(1) say? Every company making public offer has to shall issue the securities only in demat form. Then 29(1)(a), subsection 1A, new subsection. Unlisted public companies shall hold or transfer only in demat form. Yes, still here? Everybody? बड़े आगे हम लोग. Rule 9 and Rule 9A. चलेगा? Rule 9. Promoters of public company. Promoters of public company making public offer of any convertible securities. Convertible, it can be debentures, preference, whatever, okay? Of any convertible securities. Shall hold, that means they will have to convert such securities only in demat form. Also, entire holdings of convertible securities held by the promoters in physical form, bachcho, shall be also converted in demat form before such offer is made, and thereafter will be held in demat only. Okay, everybody? All the convertible bachcho securities whichever they are going to issue, that will go in demat only. Point number 1. Secondly, before giving the even offer to anybody, all the convertible securities held by promoters will be converted into what, bachcho? Demat. Samjha? So here, bachcho, they are putting all the rules on whom, bachcho? Existing promoters. Okay, please look at the wordings here, bachcho. Existing promoters in Rule 9. And Rule 9 is mainly for convertible securities. Samjha tumko bachcho yahan tak all okay? Fine. Rule 9A, please highlight over here or please let us focus over here. See, you never know, even I never know which questions can appear in the examination. है ना बच्चों? So एक बार पढ़ के जाने में कुछ नुकसान तो नहीं है ना? Okay, pay attention. UPC. What is UPC? Unlisted public companies. 9A, Rule 9A, Sub Rule 1. Issue in demat for unlisted public companies. I'm going to call it as UPC. Okay, unlisted public company. All of you okay? Excluding Nidhi, government, and wholly owned subsidiary companies. Forget that. So on them, Rule 9A is not applicable. Every other unlisted company, bachcho, are ha ya na? But again, look at the word public because unlisted are private also. So again, bachcho, here we are putting the rules on public company, unlisted public company. Samjha? Shall issue securities. Issue bola hai. Securities. Are they what you're talking about now convertible? No. Any securities. That can be share, debentures, warrants, bonds, etc. So shall issue securities only in demat form. So new bachcho offer always in, new issue always in demat, it will go. Okay. And also facilitate dematerialization of all its existing securities. That means again a pressure is put on these companies to convert the existing physical securities into demat. Samjha? 9A2. Every UPC, unless a public company making any offer for issue of any securities or even buyback for that matter, or bonus shares or right shares, shall ensure that before making such offer, entire holding bachcho again of same people, promoters, directors, KMP shall be dematerialized. I hope you're getting the point or essence of this section. Bolo fatapat. All of you tell me fatapat. Samjha ki nahi samjha? Everybody, Bharat, Arya, BG, Shashant, Zimba, शिखा कौन कौन ऑनलाइन है फटाफट कमेंट करो बच्चों एक बार थम्स अप दे दो वैष्णवी कम ऑन गाइस गुड गाइस गुड वेरी गुड ओके बॉयज एंड गर्ल्स गुड आगे बढ़े हम लोग चलो So 9A2 is what you again pay attention. Please pay attention. 9A2, 9A, okay, rule 9A, sub rule 2 is again putting pressure on company directors, KMP, etc. that you convert your securities into what? Demat. Before you do any kind of new shares or even buyback, bonus, right? Anything. Prasanna, how are you? But again, chalo. Second point, 9A3 is putting pressure on holders. Okay, pay attention. 9A2 bachcho is putting pressure on companies, promoters, directors. 983 is putting pressure on holders, members. The holders of securities of UPC in physical form, they have to convert it into demat. Okay? For transfer. That means even if a shareholder who wishes to transfer his shares cannot do that unless he gets it converted into demat. That is what rule 9A3. Samjha? Aage. Come over here. This is star mark, bacho. This is star mark. That means, what is the rule saying? That you have to compulsorily get everything transferred to demat. So demat bachcho is maintained by a depository. So you'll have to open an account with depository. Samjha ki nahi samjha? So with that depository, you'll have to maintain at least 2 years ka deposit of the charges, fees. Are you all getting? Pay attention. What is the law saying, rule saying? Convert into demat. Demat bachcho, this service is provided by who? Depository. So depository is going to charge some fees. So advance of 2 years. What did I say? Advance of 2 years will be kept as security deposit with such depository who provides demat facilities. समझा ना नलायक को? All of you okay? बढ़ो आगे. चलो. Maintain at all time the security deposit of at least 2 years with such depository RTI, STA. Depository RTI is your here I have given register to issue and STA is what share transfer agent. ठीक है? That is all okay. Please keep in mind 2 years. समझा? Important है ये from even MCQ point of view. Okay. आगे. Every unlisted public company. Now please pay attention. They are unlisted. है ना? But we are forcing them to convert into what? Demat. They are listed, but demat is okay. Demat is not keeping shares in demat doesn't mean the company gets listed. No? It is just a foolproof, you can say, or transparent mechanism for buying selling of shares. It is like an online record always. Okay. So every UPC, unlisted public company, to file PAS 6, important, with ROC. Within what, bachcho? 60 days of end of each half year. That is from September end. है ना? 60 days is like November end कुछ तो. अरे हाँ है ना? And 60 days बच्चों from March end. That is May end. के आसपास. Okay? 30th or 31st March. Whatever. Check here. So within 60 days बच्चों of 30th September is what? 29th November. That is one due date. And what within 60 days of 31st March, that is what 30th May. So that is your due date number 2. So there are 2 due dates for PAS6. You have to file it bachcho twice in a year. Clear? All of you. Now what is PAS6? If they write the name of the form in the question in MCQ and write the form number in options, it will become tough for you. What did I say? If they write the name of the form in the question. So XYZ is so and so, this will be filed in which form? Form 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you don't know the number or the name of the form. That will be tough. So what is PAS6? Anybody? Can you type quickly in short? Anybody has? Those of you who have my notes, I have given in volume 1s or whatever. First chapter, first 5 chapters. After that, first 5 chapters are given a page. 5 pages. It has a list of all the forms. I can show you here, but you should also type now, all of you. बताओ फटाफट. Everybody? अरे बोलो कुछ तो नलायको. बोलो. What is PA6? It is reconciliation of capital of the company बच्चों with its depository. समझ रहे हो? See, the accounting etc. will be done by company only. So the new issue, buyback, this and that, the records will be of the company with the company. But that should always match na with whom? Depository. So a reconciliation of capital. Very good, Arya. Very good, boys and girls. The reconciliation RICO, I hope you know RICO. Balancing like you have done in BRS. So RICO of the share capital as per records of the company and as per records of the depository will always be done after every 6 months. समझा? I hope this is clear. Oh नालायक हो, बड़े आगे. All of you okay here? बोलो. Sorry. Fine. So check this. PA6 after within 60 days of end of PY. Within 60 days of end of half year. Okay. Certified copy by a CA or a CS in practice. समझा? बढ़ो आगे. Everybody please keep in mind. One due date is November. Another due date is what? May. Chalo, I think this is done. I think we have covered everything about prospectus ना. अपना ये deemed we have done. Shelf, read. We have covered all of that. I hope so. है ना? बढ़ो आगे मैं. Chalo, let's start with next one. I think we have also done offer for sale ना. तुम लोगों ने comment किया था शायद. We have covered offer for sale. Yes, Celia. 27 we covered today. Did we cover 40 etc.? Tell me. All of you, did we cover बच्चों 49 ना? बोलो बच्चों फटाफट बच्चों बोलो. I think I'll just quickly check your comments. 28 was not done. What? Arya says 28 is done. I think 28 हो चुका ना बच्चों. Tell me quickly. 28 is done. Tell me, type quickly in the comment. 28 is done. 28 is pending बच्चों. कुछ तो बोलो फटाफट. Okay, चलो not done. No. Okay, चलो no problem. Offer of sale of shares. Very good. Offer of sale of shares by certain members of the company. Pay attention. Look at the logic. Okay, everybody, pay attention. Everybody, are you there? Chalo. Offer of sale. That means, again, you want to sell the shares. It is not IPO. It is not FPO. It is not it is not the money raised by a company. It is the shares sold by promoters or venture capitalists or investors. Okay, some of you are saying no, some of you are saying. Actually, 28 is done. Done. आगे बढ़ते फिर. Yes, I think it was a mistake. एक बार check कर लो बहन. 40 is pending. 40. Okay बेटा, okay आर्य. 40 चलो. Securities to be dealt within stock exchange. ध्यान दो. Securities to be dealt within stock exchange. That means the company now come back to here. The company which is just doing public offer but also wishes to get listed. We are talking about which company? The company which is doing public offer, giving public offer, but also wishes to get listed. So it is going to be a listed company. So in the prospectus, pay attention, bachcho. In the prospectus, they are going to mention the name of stock exchanges. In the prospectus, they are going to mention the name of stock exchanges where all they will be listed. Where all they will be listed. BSC, NSE, Calcutta, stocking, whatever it is. Are hi, Anna? Everybody? So the prospectus should give the name of the exchanges where it is going to be listed. Point number one. Correct, clear? Second point. The company cannot do allotment. Very important. The company cannot do allotment until and unless you can say approval is received from each and every stock exchange, whoever's name you had mentioned in the prospectus. Let us say what you have mentioned 5 stock exchanges name that we will be listed at 5 stock exchanges. Of that, but 4 have approved and even just only 1 is pending. 4 have approved, but only what? 1 is pending. Can you do the allotment of shares? Answer is no. And in spite of that, if you do the allotment is void. You'll have to refund all the monies. Samjha? So you can't do allotment even if 1 single stock exchange's approval is pending. Is it okay? Batao fatafat. So prospectus shall also state name or names of the stock exchanges in which securities shall be dealt with. Then unless permission is granted by each and every of those exchanges, the company cannot do allotment, otherwise it will make the allotment void. Clear hai? All of you okay? बढ़े आगे? Everybody? चलो. Penalty for non-compliance is okay, nothing. Payment for commission, very important. Underwriter will get commission for what? Towards shares and debentures, whatever they have taken guarantee for. है ना? So whatever number of shares or whatever amount of shares and debentures, money, worth money they are able to bring it for the company, of that they will get commission. What is the rate of commission? That is given in Rule 13. Rule 13. Rule 13. You have to remember. Rule 13 is very important. Some rules are important, just like we did in the chapter of dividend. Are hi na? In the chapter of dividend, if at all you want to issue dividend or declare dividend out of free reserves, accumulated profit. That what was the rule over there? Tell me quickly. Type, bachcho. Type. Jaldi. बोलो बच्चों. Anybody? कोई है? For dividend. Very good, Abhijit. Correct. Yes. Good boys. Good. I think we have done just 2 days before only, bachcho. Rule 3. Samjha? And in this chapter, rule number 13 is important. Payment of commission. Now simple. Pay attention, bachcho. Fatapat pay attention, bachcho. Yes, Sri correct. Now, the rule 13 says commission, bachcho, how is to be paid? That depends on shares or debentures. Shares is bachcho always double of debenture. Keep that in mind. Shares is bachcho about more than debentures. So what is the rate of bachcho for shares of what is the rate of commission for issue of shares? It is 5% of issue price, not face value. Okay, it is bachcho 5% of issue price. Okay, 5% of issue price or AOA rate, whichever is lower. Samjha? 5% of bachcho what? Issue price or AOA rate, whichever is lower. Tanushri correct. अरे हाँ, whichever is lower. याद रहेगा. So these typical questions are asked lots of time. The board decides 4%, AOA says 3%. चलेगा क्या बच्चों? Is it in that case 4% allowed? No. Clear? Whichever is lower, keep that in mind. समझा? But debenture बच्चों is half of shares. Correct or no? So not more than 2.5% of the price at which debentures are issued. Again, issue price of debentures. Or AOA rate, whichever is lower. Simple? बढ़े आगे? Good. Now again, very important. Commission bachcho can be paid only if it is authorized by what? AOA. Only if it is bachcho allowed by AOA. Without AOA approval, you cannot pay the commission. Then, source of commission is important. Na? Source of bachcho commission is important. From where bachcho will pay the commission? Out of the proceeds of the issue itself. That means whatever money you're getting now, from the applicants or applications, from that only bachcho you can give the commission. समझा बच्चों? All of you okay? Everybody. ठीक है? Or from the profits of the company, or both. Okay, so current profit, past year profit, whatever it is. So whatever profits you have, from that also, but you can pay the commission, or from the proceeds of this particular issue also you can pay the commission, or both. Both means what? Proceeds of the issue, some money from there, and earlier profits, but just some money from there. समझा बच्चों? All of you okay? अरे बोलो हाँ, ठीक है ना एवरीबॉडी? चलो गुड, आगे। वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट बच्चों, हियर दीज आर काइंड ऑफ एक्सपर्ट क्वेश्चंस इन एमसीक्यू एंड स्टूडेंट्स स्टिल मेक मिस्टेक। ओके, चलो। Disclosure in prospectus. Again, that means section 26 we are talking about kind of contents. So that little bit part is coming over here. In the prospectus, but you'll give name, details of the underwriter. Check name of the underwriters, rate and amount of commission. That means how much commission you agreed to pay to the underwriter. Number of shares underwritten by them. This disclosure will be there in prospectus. What all, bacho? Disclosure of underwriter. Name, the amount, how much he is undertaken to underwrite, and the number of shares and amount. Okay, rate and amount of commission. Rate bachcho and amount of commission, how much is going to get, correct, and the number of shares is agreed to underwrite. This bachcho, please pay attention. This prospectus, sorry. So the agreement copy, I'll repeat, the agreement copy with the underwriter. The agreement copy with the underwriter. Who has agreed with the underwriter? Company. So the agreement or contract is between the company and the underwriter. This agreement copy will also be summoned to ROC. This बच्चों copy, everybody, this copy of agreement, किसका agreement? Company and underwriter का. That बच्चों agreement copy will be submitted by the company to the ROC. Okay. When? Type बच्चों फटाफट. When? The agreement copy with underwriter है ना, so underwriter's agreement copy will be submitted to ROC. समझा? See, details तो we are mentioning in the prospectus. उसके अलावा, apart from that, we are also बच्चों attaching underwriter's agreement with the ROC. When will we बच्चों submit it? When? Three days, 90 days, 7 days, 15 days, 30 days, before prospectus, with prospectus, after prospectus. Tell me, बच्चों. I'm giving you lots of options. Yes, Arya. Very good. Abhijit. Okay, Bharat, I'll take that as very short answer, but your correct answer, I'll take it. Along with the prospectus. Not before prospectus, not after prospectus, but it is what? Along with the prospectus. समझे बच्चों? All of you okay? Very important, बच्चों. Very, very, very important. Students make a very big mistake over there all the time. Okay, bachcho, check here. A copy of contract for the payment of commission is delivered to the ROC at the time of delivery of prospectus for registration. समझा बच्चों? Very good, Anisha. Yes, correct. Shashant, correct. All of you correct. Bhavya, correct. समझा all of you? Very, 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 very important. See, I've given you almost 7 stars over here. It is that important. Because students make lots of mistake over here. Okay? Last point. No commission to be paid on securities which are not offered for public for subscription. Very important. Okay, so you will not pay commission on those securities which are not given to public. I'll repeat, you will not pay commission on those securities which are not given to public offer. So which kind of securities which you are talking about? You will not give commission on those securities which are not offered to public offer, which are not offered to public. Which kind of securities we are talking about here? Right shares are not offered to public. Bonus shares are not offered to public. Private placement are not offered to public. Are हाँ या ना? So on these examples, or ESOP for that matter, against sweat equity, etc., we will not pay commission to the underwriter. Are you all okay with बच्चों? अरे बोलो हाँ समझा तुमको बच्चों. Tell me, you understood or no? बोलो ना बच्चों, everybody. Clear है कि नहीं? Sorry. Okay, we are there. I think we are there. है ना? बढ़ गए हम लोग. All right. चलो. Now last question बच्चों. Commission can be paid in cash or kind or both. Everybody. Commission can be paid in cash or kind or both. All of you, important question. Commission can be paid in cash or kind or both. All of you. Both. Both are allowed. Very important. Please keep that in mind. Whatever, if at all you think, you are learning something new today, please make notes of that. समझा क्या? Everybody, you have, I think, sufficient time to make or write something quickly. Okay, everybody? बढ़ू मैं आगे? So please keep that in mind. Commission can be paid in kind also. हुआ? There is no restriction in the company law for payment of commission in kind. Mobile phones, gold coin, bike, car, whatever you want to give, you can give it as commission. हुआ? चलो, let's go ahead. This one again, allotment of securities 39. आ जाओ. Allotment of security, section 39. है ना? बच्चों, till now we did everything about prospectus. Whatever is the contents, or you can say purpose of what, bachcho? Prospectus. But here now, bachcho, we are starting with the duty of allotment. That means you're getting the money now, or you can say you have got the money now, and you have to give the shares against it. Samjha? So 39 bachcho, was 1 says what? 39.1. No allotment shall be done unless minimum subscription done. And whatever is decided by the SEBI or Companies Act. So minimum that amount is received. Without that, but you cannot do allotment, and the money is received. 39.2 is bachcho about minimum application amount. Okay. So 39.1 is about minimum subscription overall of the offer, and 39.2 is bachcho what about what minimum application amount. So the amount payable on application of every security shall not be bachcho less than what 5%. This is bachcho as per Companies Act. And 25% bachcho is what as per SEBI Act. All of you okay clear? Are bolo ha. Then, if the money is bachcho not received within 30 days from the date of issue of prospectus, check here. If the stated minimum amount has not been subscribed and the sum payable on application is not received, and both bachcho have not been done within how many days? Within a period of 30 days from the date of issue of prospectus, then bachcho, we shall return the money because we have failed in minimum subscription or failed in minimum application amount. Samjha? All of you okay? If the stated minimum amount has not been subscribed, or we have not received the application money, then the application money shall be repaid within 15 days from the closure of the issue. Important. Within what? 15 days of closure of the issue. And if any such money is not so repaid within such period, then who are liable? The directors shall be liable of the company. Okay, jointly as well as severally. Liable to repay the money with interest at the rate of 15%. Please underline, highlight, bold. 15%. If your bad luck is also bad, but if your bad luck is also very much tough, they can ask you question on rate of interest. 12%, 15%, 18%, 21%. Whatever they can ask you. You never know. Or at least from syllabus point of view, you should remember that. Okay. So if there is a delay, again I'm repeating, there is a delay in refunding the money. There is a delay, bachcho, in what? Refunding the money. Then what is the rate of interest applicable here? 15%. And who are bachcho liable to pay? The directors, bachcho, are personally liable to pay. Samjha kya? I'll tell you, bachcho, one more effect over here. Tell me. From the chapter of deposits. What is the connection, bachcho, of this line with the chapter of deposits? Anybody can tell me? What is the connection of this line with the chapter of deposits? Anybody? बोलो बच्चों. Yes, Patil, very good. Patil, very good. Keep it up, Patil. Very good, बच्चों. Shika, very good, very good, very good. Nice, nice, nice. Please, this is important, but this is what what the level I want from you guys, okay? That you know the effect of one, you can say transaction or one having an effect of another chapter also. Samjha? So please keep it in mind. This is another section and liabilities which under this section to pay interest. But there is also another impact of deposit. The money kept with the company pending allotment. The money which what kept with the company pending allotment will be treated as deposit. Okay? Samjha? Chalo. Then application बच्चों money to be refunded shall be credited only to the bank account from which the subscription was remitted. Means बच्चों husband बच्चों applied for the shares and the refund is given to wife. That will not be correct. So the one who had applied उसको ही refund जाएगा. All of you okay clear? बोलो हाँ. Whenever a company having a share capital makes any allotment of securities, they shall बच्चों file with registrar a return of allotment. You have बच्चों annual return. You have बच्चों buyback का return. Similar बच्चों here also have what return of allotment. This is there in almost many sections. It can be बच्चों right shares, bonus shares, ESOP, है ना, sweat equity. Similarly here, even private placement for the matter, बच्चों even private placement. These are all allotments only ना. So here also बच्चों we will what file a return of allotment. समझा बच्चों? all of you okay लियो? बढ़ू आगे में everybody. हाँ. A return of allotment. समझा? Now you tell me common sense, बच्चों. What will be the content of return of allotment? Mainly the details of the allottee. Allottee means the one who got the shares or securities. समझा? How much shares, at what price, those all details will be broken down and given to the ROC. Check here. What is the due date for return of allotment? PAS 3, the form, within 30 days of allotment. Samjha? PAS 6 बच्चों also we covered today. PAS 1 I think also we covered. है ना? So PAS 3 is return of allotment. Within how many days? 30 days of allotment. समझा? आगे बढ़े हम लोग. List of allottees, their name, address, occupation, number of securities allotted, है ना? To each of the allottees. समझा? Then, if बच्चों you're giving shares to anybody for other than cash. It can be anything else, but now let us say you're giving shares to your employees. It can be sweat equity shares, it can be ESOP, है ना बच्चों? Then you are not charging from them anything, let us say. Then again, you're giving them free of cost. Then the agreement or the contract copy based on which, the agreement बच्चों or the contract copy based on which you are giving these shares, even that will be attached to your return of allotment, point number 1. Secondly, if बच्चों you are giving the shares to anybody, again other than cash, but your cash can be property also. That means somebody gave you the property, land, building, plant, machine, etc. Against that, you are giving the shares. Against that, you are giving the shares. But against what? Against land, building, plant, machine, or any other assets. So the valuation of those assets. Hey, ma, Mataji, pay attention. The valuation of those assets shall be done by a registered valuer. Are hai na? Okay. Then बच्चों the valuation will be done by a registered valuer. समझा बच्चों? Clear or no? Whenever the shares are given at free of cost or discount or some against some other assets, then there will always be a report of registered valuer. समझा बच्चों? all of you okay till here? अरे बोलो हाँ. Everybody. एक मिनट ना बच्चों. Okay. All right. ठीक है एवरीबॉडी, हम लोग आगे बढ़े. किधर गए त्रिशा क्लासेस वाले? एक मिनट ना बच्चों. डन. ऑलराइट, आगे बढ़ते हम लोग. आ जाओ। सिविल लाइबिलिटी एंड क्रिमिनल लाइबिलिटी, ओके, इंपॉर्टेंट। सिविल लाइबिलिटी एंड क्रिमिनल लाइबिलिटी, ओके बच्चों, बड़े आगे हम लोग। हाँ, सिविल लाइबिलिटी बच्चों इज ऑलवेज यू कैन से क्राइम और ऑफेंस अगेंस्ट द इंडिविजुअल और अ पार्टी, identified person. Criminal bachcho liability is like an offense against the entire state or society at large. Clear till here? Then there should be an element of loss. There should be an element of what? Loss. There has to be some loss. Only then bachcho will say it is a civil crime or civil liability. Clear? And there bachcho has to be element of guilt or mens rea in case of criminal liability. कुछ समझा कि नहीं all of you? Yes, still everybody? बढ़ू आगे मैं. So, if there is anything wrong in the prospectus, but what did I say? If there is anything wrong in the prospectus, clearly all of you. So there can be a civil liability or a criminal liability. Which one, you think is a bigger problem or a bigger challenge or a bigger offense? Obviously, bachcho, or criminal liability. Are हाँ या ना बच्चों? Clearly here. So the first one also bachcho comes or which is there for discussion here is criminal liability instead of civil liability. समझा बच्चों? पहला क्या आएगा हमेशा? Criminal, the bigger crime. Understood? Okay, pay attention. So it includes any statement which is untrue or misleading. Includes any statement which is what bachcho? Untrue or misleading. Okay, your prospectus has something wrong in it. Understood? Okay, so every person who authorizes it, to such issue bachcho shall be liable under section what? 447. अरे हाँ everybody समझे, बोलो हाँ. Exception. Please understand bachcho here who is responsible? Anybody who has authorized that prospectus. That means everybody will be liable, whoever signs are there on the prospectus. Correct here? What is the bachcho liability? Punishment bachcho under section what? 447. समझा? Punishment bachcho under section what? 447. Okay till here all of you? अरे बोलो हाँ. हाँ. If there is anything untrue or misleading. But what is the defense available over there? What is the exception available over there? If he proves that such statement or omission was immaterial, defense number one, immaterial. The whatever mistake is there, it is very, very negligible or immaterial. Nothing, it doesn't hamper or affect or any way induce anybody's decision making. Nobody. It doesn't much affect the decision making at all. So if he proves that such statement was or omission was immaterial, or that he had reasonable grounds to believe. Okay, second defense, or reasonable grounds to believe, and it did up to the time of issue of the prospectus that the statement was true. You have to prove to the court that he always believed it to be what? True. You have to prove to the court that he will always believe it to be true. समझा क्या बच्चों? All of you okay here? अरे हाँ. Next one. Ready बच्चों? Civil liability for misstatement in prospectus. Ready? हाँ. Civil liability. तो पहला बच्चों क्या तुम्हारा? Criminal. Untrue or misleading, everybody in the prospectus liable for 447. Exception is what? पहला वाला बच्चों, it is immaterial. And secondly बच्चों, it is what? They always believed it to be true. They had no doubt or suspicion anything. Clear or no? There was no doubt or suspicion, but suspicion बच्चों anything. Civil liability. Check here. What is बच्चों civil liability? Any person subscribing or relying on any matter. These people बच्चों are having losses ना. The one who have applied for the shares, they are bachcho having losses. That's why they are a little bit angry. And they had bachcho, they incurred some losses. Why? Because of what? Because of you can say misleading statement in the prospectus. So relying on any matter, which is what? Relying on any matter which is in the prospectus, misleading and has sustained loss. Samjha ki nahi samjha? See, misleading is there and as well as loss should be there. Only then bachcho they can file the case in civil liability. Okay. As a consequence, without any limit. Important. Now, what do you mean without any limit? That means what? No limit at all in the liability. And they're also what? Personally liable. There are what? No liability, no limit in the liability. That means what? They are what? Personally liable. Are samjha? Bacha. All of you okay here? Without any limit on the liability, the company and every person, company also, And every person who is director, proposed director, attorney, expert, promoter, and the one who are authorizing shall be liable to pay compensation to the party who have incurred losses. It is something like, can we call this something like compensation? Or like what do we call indemnification? Indemnify the loss, make good the loss without any limit. कोई लिमिट नहीं रहेगा भाई. Okay everybody, बढ़ो आगे. Okay, fine. Exception if proved. There are three defenses. There are what? Three defenses here. In 34 there are two defenses. In 35 there are three defenses. Please keep that in mind. This is civil liability. Pehla wala. The director withdrew his consent. Director na the first is only for director available. That of defense. So having consented to become a director of the company, he withdrew his consent to become director. Okay, everybody? And that it was issued, that prospectus was issued without his authority or consent. Clear earlier? So having consented to become a director, but he withdrew. Before the issue of prospectus, he has withdrawn his, you can say what? Consent to become a director. And the prospectus was issued without his knowledge or approval. Samjha? So he can escape if he proves that. Second, anybody that the prospectus was issued without his knowledge or consent. Who are we making liable? All the person, promoter, director, expert, the one who have authorized the prospectus. So anybody of them, whoever is liable, they are saying that it was issued without their knowledge or consent, and becoming aware, they immediately gave a public notice about the same, that it was issued without their knowledge, but we are no responsible, or you are entering into the transaction at your own risk. This public notice should be given. Samjha? The first defense was available only to director. Second defense which is available to anybody whose name is mentioned in the prospectus. Samjha? Third, that as regards every misleading statement bachcho done by expert. Pay attention, I'll just quickly give a summary of this. The prospectus bachcho is going to have statement of expert also. Prospectus. That is the bachcho work of expert to check the details in the prospectus. So the directors or managers or promoters are saying that we relied on the statement made by the promoter, not promoter, expert. The directors bachcho are saying what? We relied on the reports or the valuation, etc., done by the expert. Who is saying this? The directors, promoters, etc. They are saying that we are relying on whom? Expert. Clear or no? So expert has made the error. But here the directors are responsible, and they should also, as in they should also give a clarification that they relied on the competent expert. But what? Competent expert. So they believed what? The expert was competent. Competency of the expert is getting questioned here. So the expert was competent. Point number one. Secondly, the expert has given his own declaration in writing, consent in writing in 26.5. Samjha? In 26.5, do you remember? Just now we did, today only we did. So the expert bachcho has given what? Consent, written consent in 26, subsection 5. And he has not withdrawn bachcho this consent at the time of, till the time of issuing the prospectus to ROC. Check here. So, an extract from so and so, he had reasonable ground to believe who? The directors, etc. And did at the time of till the time of issue prospectus that the person making the statement, means expert, was competent to make it. The expert had credibility, experience, he had a name in the market. It was not somebody we just made somebody for time pass as expert, okay? So the expert was competent. And the expert had given consent in 26.5, okay, and had not withdrawn that consent till the time of filing that copy with ROC. अरे हाँ, कुछ समझा क्या बच्चों? So here बच्चों, what is defense number 3? Okay, we are putting the kind of बच्चों, we are putting बच्चों the doubt, or you can say liability, on the expert. Okay, but how? Only if the expert was competent enough, he has given his consent in writing, and bachcho he had not withdrawn his consent till the time of issuing of prospectus. So you are shifting the blame bachcho here on expert. Samjha? Everybody? But overall in section 35, if they are liable bachcho, then the liability is unlimited. Samjha kya? Means what? Personal bachcho, they are also personally liable. Clear till here, all of you? Check the diagram. Where's the diagram? Pehla bachcho, criminal liability. Who are liable? Every person who authorized the prospectus. Liable under section 447. Defenses, there are two. The misleading statement or omission, whatever it is what immaterial, or he always had reasonable ground to believe that statement was true. Barabar? 35 सिविल बच्चों, लॉस इज नेसेसरी, लॉस बराबर है कि नहीं, लॉस है ना। हु आर रिस्पॉन्सिबल, कंपनी डायरेक्टर, प्रपोज डायरेक्टर, प्रमोटर, एक्सपर्ट एक्सेट्रा. What is their liability? They have to make good the loss. They have to what? Make good the loss. And differences are 3 year. The director withdrew his consent of becoming director. Secondly, it was issued without his knowledge, so he gave public notice later on. And thirdly, believed on the consent given by expert. समझा? All of you okay? बढ़े आगे बच्चों. That is your criminal and civil liability. I hope it was understood. आगे बढ़े क्या बच्चों? 36 इज नॉट वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, बट उसको अपन कवर तो कर लेंगे, है ना एवरीबॉडी. बढ़ो आगे. चलो 36 पहले करते. 36 विल फर्स्ट फिनिश फर्स्ट. Punishment for fraudulently inducing persons to invest money. Fraudulently, that means again fraud is involved over here. Fraud is involved. Inducing means बच्चों what? Making somebody do something. है ना? That is what बच्चों, making somebody do something. That is inducing. And what are we बच्चों inducing the other person for? To invest the money in the company or give his money or kind of get some financial risk also. है ना? So here बच्चों agent, underwriter commission, underwriter agent or commission, brokers, anybody or even employees of the company or anybody makes a careless, reckless statement or promises big numbers of the company. That means you invest in the company, you will get 100% return in 2 months or 50% return in 1 month, whatever they want to promise. So they're making big promises, and based on that promise, they're giving good projection of the company, which they themselves do not believe. Whoever bachcho is making those statements, they themselves do not believe. It is only and only bachcho for the purpose of getting the money out of somebody else. है ना? So who are these bachcho parties who are incurring kind of losses under section 36? Pay attention. So here, any person, okay, bachcho, what is the starting statement? Any person. That means anybody can be responsible. Who purposely or carelessly makes any kind of statement or promise or forecast which is actually what? False, deceptive or misleading, in order to induce another person to what? To enter into or to offer to enter into any agreement for underwriting security. That means what? बच्चों किसको चुना लगाया? किसको चुना लगाया? That means बच्चों who got defrauded? The underwriters बच्चों got defrauded. Are you getting my point on all of you? फटाफट बताओ बच्चों, कमेंट करो, कमेंट all of you. फटाफट बच्चों कमेंट करो, बताओ तो सही मुझको. बोलो बच्चों, समझाए कि नहीं सभी को? So bachcho, what the company or somebody on behalf of company gave big projections to the underwriter and said, this will definitely be very oversubscribed. You underwrite still, you will get good commission, etc., etc. So you're giving the false messages or fake, you can say, hopes or false numbers. You entered into an underwriting agreement with the company, or you made the underwriter bachcho enter into agreement with the company. Point number one. Secondly, okay, that is your first. You can say bakara. Bakara, you understand, na? Bakara. Bakara. What do you call bakara? Somebody you made a target. Okay, fine. Or any agreement to secure profits to any of the parties from the sale of security. That means you're guaranteeing somebody. You will definitely, you invest money right now. Within 7 days or 30 days, I will sell your shares on your behalf, and you'll get this XYZ amount as profit for sure. So guaranteeing bachcho, agreement to secure profit. That means guaranteeing profits to anybody. Whoever bachcho what buys the share. Yes, Bharat, you understood. Shikar. Yes, you guys understood. That is fine. Good. Or third bachcho, what is the third part? Or any agreement with financial institution bachcho to obtain what? Credit facilities. Means what? Credit facility means what bachcho? Taking loan or cash credit or overdraft. So here bachcho, who are you making the fool over here? Bank. So there are three parties bachcho who can be made a fool under section 36, and then whoever is making a fool will be liable under section 447. Who are bachcho those three parties who are made a fool? Underwriter or anybody who is with whom you went into agreement for securing profits, or bachcho third word bachcho? Banks. Samjha? Please remember these lines, very important. Samjha? Underwriting securities, secure profit, and credit facilities from financial institutions. समझा क्या बच्चों? Whoever does this are liable for action under section 447. Fraud. Punishment for fraud. आगे बढ़ो मैं बच्चों, प्यारे प्यारे बच्चों, ऑल ऑफ यू ओके लियो? बढ़ो आगे बच्चों, ठीक है. 447 समथिंग लाइक यू शुड रिमेंबर और ऑलवेज, मतलब इट इज यूज एट मेनी प्लेसेस, है ना बच्चों? कर लियो. आ जाओ, पनिशमेंट फॉर फ्रॉड. बच्चों ओके, रेडी एवरीबडी? Now fraud means omission, commission of anything deceptive, false, है ना बच्चों? An act or omission, etc. with an intent to deceive. Then this is बच्चों also very important. It will be still called as बच्चों fraud, whether or not there is any wrongful gain or wrongful loss. That means you tried to defraud somebody. If it was not successful, but still बच्चों will be called as fraud because there was an attempt to fraud somebody. समझा क्या? So actually getting any profit or loss out of that fraud is not important. समझा बच्चों, all of you okay till here? You are doing that any act or omitting something with intent to deceive will be called as fraud. आगे बढ़ूँ मैं? चलो फटाफट. This table I have already made. I think it is also available in ICS study material. So check करो फटाफट. Any person who is found guilty, that means liable. Huh? Found guilty means they are convicted. Na? Where fraud is of at least 10 lakhs or 1% of turnover, whichever is lower. Do you understand this or do you want example? फटाफट बताओ. Do you understand this or do you want example? फटाफट बताओ. Fraud is बच्चों how much? At least बच्चों lower of 10 lakhs or 1% of turnover. I call this बच्चों as big fraud. I call this बच्चों as big fraud. All of you बच्चों comment. All of you comment. You understand this or do you want example? Okay, everybody. फटाफट. I hope the provisions are there in front of you. है ना? So the बच्चों fraud is of at least of lower of 2. So the fraud is बच्चों of more. I mean it is beyond a particular limit. And what is the limit? Lower of 2 things. What is बच्चों lower of 2 things? 10 lakhs or 1% of turnover. समझा? So the fraud is बच्चों bigger than that, those limits. It is, I'm just calling it casually as big fraud. समझा? In that case, बच्चों what is with the punishment? Minimum 6 months. Vacation compulsory बच्चों vacation. Food will be free. Staying बच्चों will be free. Even the clothes बच्चों will be free. You will be बच्चों away from your relatives. Everybody ना, nice vacation. Okay. Where बच्चों? Minimum 6 months. Where? Imprisonment. है ना? And max 10 years. And fine बच्चों how much? 1x to 3x. X means 1 time to 3 time. Okay. X to 3 times of the amount involved in fraud and not less than amount involved in fraud means 1 time to 3 time. समझा क्या? If you made a fraud of 1 crore, that 1 crore minimum will pay as fine and बच्चों maximum 3 crore will pay as fine. समझा? But however, the fraud बच्चों involves public interest. Then बच्चों minimum vacation is of 3 years. Okay? Imprisonment बच्चों is of 3 years. समझा क्या? All of you. Okay, everybody? However, if the fraud does not involve, if the fraud is बच्चों not a big fraud, if the fraud is not a big fraud and it also does not involve public interest, अरे हाँ, समझ रहे हो? Fraud is बच्चों what? Daily 500. Okay, Bharat. अच्छा, daily 500 also you get a what? In jail? For what? Some work? हाँ. And does not involve public interest. And it is a small fraud, also no public interest. Then बच्चों what? Then the maximum बच्चों limit of imprisonment is 5 years. Maximum. So minimum is nothing, but maximum is how much? 5 years. And fine bachcho is how much? Up to rupees 50 lakhs. That means a standard figure or both. Clear? Today only I taught to some students right now, today in my regular batch. So let me check how much are you able to also recollect. चलेगा क्या बच्चों? See, today only I was teaching them. Okay. So big fraud is what बच्चों at least lower of 10 lakhs or 1% of turnover. I'll give you certain examples. Okay, Bharat. Yeah. Working in the jail, I think. I'll give you बच्चों example. चलेगा? See, I'll give you example number 1. Turnover of the company is 100 lakhs and actual बच्चों fraud happened of 5 lakhs. Can you बच्चों tell me this is a big fraud or a small fraud? All of you comment quickly. Please everybody. Actual turnover of the company is 100 lakhs and actual fraud बच्चों is of 5 lakhs. So बच्चों tell me this fraud is actually what now? Big fraud or a small fraud? All of you. Everybody will comment. Huh? I can see 7, 8 of them. I can see 17, 20 of them. Please, बच्चों, come on, फटाफट. Okay, Arya. Only Arya answered. Others, come on, fटाफट quickly. I'll wait for your comment. Otherwise, I'll not go ahead. Trisha, guys, come on. Udupi, Mangalore. Samita, Shreya, Vaishnavi, Tanushri, Bhavya, Srujan, Sri Raksha, Avisha. Okay, बच्चों. Yes, but this is what? Big fraud. Yes. Why? Because lower is what? Lower of 10 lakhs or 1% of turnover. Now, what is 1% of turnover, बच्चों? 1 lakh only. So 10 lakhs or 1 lakh, which is lower? 1 lakh. Is my actual fraud more than 1 lakh? Yes, so बच्चों, it is what? Big fraud. समझा बच्चों? Okay, अरे हाँ है ना. So lower of 10 lakhs or 1% of turnover is lower is 1 lakh, but my actual fraud is बच्चों more than 1 lakh. Therefore, बच्चों, it is what? Big fraud. समझा? Good. चलो, give me one more second example, बच्चों. 1,000 lakhs. My goodness. Again, बच्चों, what? 1,000 lakhs. Okay, I hope you can see the example. Actual turnover is 1,000 lakhs. Actual fraud is बच्चों 5 lakhs. All of you tell me. Actual turnover is 1,000 lakhs and actual fraud is of rupees 5 lakhs. क्या बात है आर्य? Okay, Arya, that was very fast. Trisha, students, you are not replying. What is this? Huh? Or I can't see your comments about. I don't know. This is now, tell me, what is 1% of 1,000 crores? Not crores, lakhs, re baba. What is 10 lakhs? So 10 lakhs or 10 lakhs, which is lower is 10 lakhs. And which my actual fraud is 5 lakhs, which is less than 10 lakhs. Therefore, which it is what? Small. Clear? So last example. How much I have given? 10,000 lakhs. My goodness. Actual turnover is of what? 10,000 lakhs. Okay, obviously you can convert into crores and all of that, whatever it is. And actual fraud is of rupees 15 lakhs. Actual fraud is of what? Rupees 15 lakhs. 1 5. Type बच्चों फटाफट. Arya, that was very fast. Good. Okay, Kamte. Okay, Shri. Kartikeya, how are you? This is a big fraud. Why? But now what is 1% of 10,000 lakhs? 100 lakhs? Or 10 lakhs, whichever is lower you compare. So lower is what 10 lakhs, but my actual purchase fraud is of 15 lakhs. That's why it is a big fraud. समझा बच्चों? All of you okay earlier? Very good, Samita. क्या बात है? You guys are so smart. Very nice. So what is on हो गया? Action by 50% is never ever asked, but always you can keep in mind. It is just many people coming together and filing a case against a company, single company. समझा? Okay, we come to the last part. बढ़ा गया हम लोग बच्चों. Very lengthy section, this 42. So please expect questions on 42. Private placement, always expect. There will be something or the other will definitely be there of 42. Please keep in mind. चलेगा? Okay. Let's read quickly. अरे कब खत्म होगा ये? Ready? Private placement. That means this one single section is another part of the one single section is part of the what? Act itself as part 2. It's a separate part of part itself in the chapter. Okay. Part 1 was public offer, section 23 से लेके 41. And one single section बच्चों is what? Part 2. That is what? Private placement. Okay बच्चों. Let's go ahead everybody. So here it is not a public offer. It is a special offer बच्चों given to only identified persons. Clearly, yeah. So this is like a private deal. So that means if what is the overall purpose of this section? That means if at all you're going to, you don't have to do lots of compliance. If at all you're getting all the money from hardly few people. Whatever money you require, but you're getting it only from couple of people. So why to go for the entire headache of process of public offer? Clear earlier? Sure. So private placement, but you tell me, can a private company do private placement? Yes. Can a public company do private placement? Also yes. हुआ? आगे बढ़े. So private placement means any offer or of securities or invitation to subscribe securities to a select group of persons called as identified persons, whose number shall not exceed, but right now the number is 200, okay? Whose number shall not exceed 50 or such other higher number. Such much higher number right now prescribes how much? 200, okay? That we will see in again sometime. 200 है यहाँ पे. Okay, 200. Excluding, but who, but we don't include in that upper limit of 200 QIB. Qualified institutional buyers. अरे हाँ है ना, QIB. Like mutual funds, government entities, foreign government, pension funds, etc. etc. Okay, everybody? And employees of the company being offered securities under ESOP, Employee Stock Option Plan, under section 62 1B. Okay? 62 1B. So there are two exceptions. That means first of all, but you'll pay attention how many, what is the upper limit for how many people but you can give this give this private offer in a financial year? 200 people only. Who will you not include in this upper limit of 200 or will not never ever count them is QIB and ESOP. Clear? So if at all you give private offer to QIB people, QIB, we will not include them in the upper limit of 200. समझा बच्चों? Clear? Private placement process is supplemented or helped बच्चों by rule number 14. Okay, rule number बच्चों क्या? 14. चलेगा? All the company so and so rules. Very important बच्चों, very very important. If the entire section 42 as well as the rules, if they are not sincerely followed, okay, then बच्चों it will be treated as public offer. Very 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 important. If बच्चों by mistake you give a public advertisement of this private offer, the offer is private, but बच्चों by mistake बच्चों you give a public advertisement, it will be treated as public offer. And once बच्चों it is treated as public offer, all the rules, regulations, conditions, everything बच्चों will be applicable of public offer. है ना? पूरा the entire section, the part 1, section 23 to 41 will be applicable on such offer. समझा गया? So check. If provision is not followed, it will be treated as public offer. And therefore, provisions of securities contract at SCRA, SEBI will be applicable. Very important. If you do not follow even one single provision of private placement, which is deemed as public offer. Okay? If a company, listed or unlisted, makes an offer to allot or invest subscription or allots to more than prescribed number of members, whether the payment for the securities has been received or not, whether the company intends to list the securities or not, बच्चों, the same shall be deemed to be an offer to public. क्या समझा बच्चों तुमको? That means if at all you're crossing the limit of 200, then whatever offer is given after 200 will be deemed as public offer. समझा बच्चों all of you? The repercussion effects are बच्चों very high. ठीक है? Then 423. A company making private placement shall issue private placement offer. Okay? And application in such form and manner as prescribed to identified persons. But who are these identified persons? Offeree. Offeree means private parties, or you can say identified person to whom the offer is given, whose names and addresses are recorded by the company. That means to whom you are giving the offer, that record will be maintained by the company in such manner as may be prescribed. It is provided that private placement which offer an application shall not carry any right of renunciation. Private offer बच्चों is like a शादी का कार्ड. शादी का कार्ड, you understand? Invitation, marriage invitation, है ना बच्चों? That cannot be transferable. Is it transferable? Is it negotiable? I am unable to go in this shadi. You go on my behalf, but please go and eat. Again, is it possible? No. So, private placement offers cannot be renounced in favor of somebody else. I hope you understand the meaning of that. That means giving the right to somebody else. Which shares बच्चों are allowed? Where do we allow right of renunciation? I hope you remember that. Can you renounce bonus shares or no? Tell me बच्चों फटाफट. Can you renounce bonus shares? Yes or no? Everybody, बोलो फटाफट. Can you renounce bonus shares? Yes or no? बोलो बच्चों. Answer is no. But can you renounce right shares? Yes, you can renounce right shares. Can you renounce? Can the offeree of private placement? Can the बच्चों offeree of private placement renounce that offer in favor of somebody else? Again, answer is no. I hope सभी को समझ रहा है. Clear all of you? समझा all of you clear? समझा ना? So bonus shares you cannot renounce, right shares you can renounce, and private placement बच्चों offer you cannot renounce. ठीक है? बढ़े आगे? Good. Please understand these small things ना बच्चों, these small things. चलो conditions for private placement. Issue of private placement offer letter. Offer letter बच्चों किसमें जाएगा? PAS4. Okay बच्चों PAS4. ठीक है everybody? बढ़े आगे? Rule. अब rule are getting applicable ना for this section. So company cannot offer without passing SR. Oh nalaiko. Everybody. अरे हाँ या ना? I had made a small table with you. Do you remember in the notebook? Oh nalaiko. किया क्या तुम लोगों ने ये? है ना? I hope you prepare this OR and SR and made an enter column with you guys. कुछ याद है कि नहीं? Resolutions. अच्छा SR. Where all बच्चों require SR है कि नहीं? So can you see बच्चों 42? Yes. Clear है? I think this notes, all these notes बच्चों I have given to you. अरे बोलो हाँ. ठीक है? चलो. Okay. So you can't बच्चों give private placement offer without passing of SR. You want majority consent. चलेगा? हाँ. In each of the offers or invitation. That means it is not for the entire year that you pass SR once in a year and then you get the approval. No. Okay, everybody? Then, in the explanatory statement annexed to the notice, annex means not attached to the notice. For shareholders' approval, the following disclosure shall be made. Details of the offer, including date of passing of board resolution, the kinds of securities, types, na, whether it's equity, debentures, convertible, non-convertible, etc. So, kind of securities offered and the price at which they are offered. Okay. Basis and justification of the price. Name and address of the valuer who performed valuation of that particular share. At what price you're giving. So, what the price, how it is arrived. So, that much details will be given on the valuer. Amount which the company wishes to raise by way of security. That means how much money they wish to raise. What? Fine. Second provision rule 14.1. Sub rule 1, that is SR shall not apply in case of offer or invitation for non-convertible debenture. NCD. Okay, but SR is not required. Underline, but please underline. This 14.1 etc. but is not required. Okay. If it is what? NCD. You are issuing much what? NCD in private placement. Where the proposed amount to be raised through such offer does not exceed the limit given in what? 181C. Yes, still here? And such relevant board resolution it will be adequate. Okay. So instead of SR, BR is sufficient. BR board resolution. If the offer is about private placement of non-convertible debentures, but how much amount? Not exceeding the limit given under section 181C. Now 181C, but you need not remember by heart. अरे हाँ या ना? All of you okay clear? बढ़ा गया हम लोग बच्चों. आगे. In case of offer of NCD, where the amount raised exceeds the 181C बच्चों, then it shall be sufficient if the company passes previous SR only once in a year. That means बच्चों for NCD, only one SR for the year is sufficient. But if it is apart from NCD bonus, I mean any kind of shares, then for every time बच्चों you offer shares in private placement, you have to pass an SR. All of you बोलो हुआ कि नहीं हुआ? Everybody, थक तो नहीं गए ना तुम लोग? Not tired ना? All of you tell me. पढ़ाई हो रही कि नहीं बच्चों? मुझको बताओ all of you. Do you want to take RTP session? मुझको बताओ बच्चों, RTP लेना है क्या? RTP session, RTP of the current exam, or have you already covered? मुझको बताओ. I was thinking what to do on Saturday, etc. Saturday or Sunday I was thinking to take RTP and amendment session. Amendment कुछ है ही नहीं वैसे. What do you want? Tell me बच्चों. I'll wait for your comments. बोलो बच्चों. बोलो everybody. Do you want to take RTP after these sessions? If you have already not covered. तुम लोग आ जाओगे पक्का? See, please, I'm repeating one more time. हम लोग तो syllabus cover कर रहे हैं. We are covering the syllabus. But I hope you had already done also something, half of it, part of it. Or along with this series, you are getting the studies properly, क्या बोलते हैं उसको, fit अच्छे से. Of the syllabus or chapter which were pending. Okay, till here? Otherwise, do it also. I think I've covered important ones, at least what I feel are very, very important. Okay? So don't rely on me for each and every line, each and everything. Like contract is very, very simple to understand. You just have to, you can say what बच्चों, do it at least once, है ना बच्चों? If not Saturday बच्चों, then Sunday बच्चों will take what? In evening only. Evening time is fine. We'll take बच्चों what? RTP session. समझा क्या? उसके बाद which all you want, you let me know. तुम बताओ ना मुझको. What all you want? ठीक है, बड़े आगे फिर और कुछ रखा तो प्लीज बताया करो मुझको. Everybody, I hope you have already subscribed to my channel also. Everybody, I hope you already subscribed to my channel also, ना? And the Telegram group or whatever. अच्छा, ICI बुकलेट करना है क्या फिर से? MCQ वाला दैट वी कैन डू, चलेगा. डन ब्रो, डन डन डन. ICI बुकलेट का भी रिक्वेस्ट आया है. ICI बुकलेट चलेगा. ICI MCQ booklet is there. It is a little bit old, but that's fine. It works for us. You know? That also we can finish it off. एक minute, I'll just quickly show it to you here. ICI Board of Studies. Over here we have that. किधर गया? MCQs and case scenario booklet. This I was talking about. You know, this you have for tax also and law also. At least for law we can start ना. खुलना बाबा. है ना, this much we can cover. This is old, January 22. Okay, so where whatever is the law, as per current law, we can try that. But there are lots of questions over here. Lots. Okay. You know, just now I showed you how to take it, so you can keep this copy with you if needed, है ना? समझा क्या बच्चों? You can keep this copy on your phone or mobile or whatever it is, phone, mobile, laptop, and then when you will view that day video, whenever we start, you can keep our video live along with this PDF with you, so we can read this together and finish it off together. Case studies will be very tough, Abhijit. Okay, because one case study takes almost like 40 half an hour to 45 minutes. Okay, if I talk about case studies, it will be very, very big. But I will request that you do it at least once. Check karo. These are like big case studies. Look at this question. किधर गया? 21, 21, 20, 22. Let me just check. 22 किधर है? हाँ. It is like big story. Then everybody will have interest or not. That is something different. So based on case studies, you have questions. समझा बच्चों? So I will cover for you MCQ at least, है ना? And then the case study based one you can try on your own. चलेगा? All of you. But please let me again highlight one more point. This is old MCQ booklet, so you need to solve as per current law. So even if you see some question or answers which are different, or it is not matching your logic, please understand it might be old law. है ना? So don't worry if your answer does not match. Clear? चलो ठीक है. So at least 2 sessions I've confirmed. तुम लोग आओगे and I'm telling you, तुम लोग minimum 10 people will come, then only I will be taking the session, okay? Honestly. So RTP हो गया अपना. Okay, RTP law. November 23. Okay, what else? ICAI MCQ. There are about 100 MCQ will take. Booklet. All of you there on, I think I've given the link of app also, बच्चों. है ना? So that app also had given this income tax का भी MCQs है. Okay, I hope some of you have tried. It is there in that free material. Or not free material. In free material you have income tax summary notes, free material. And बच्चों in that free tests, you have lots of MCQ tests. है ना? Arya given now. Arya has given. Kamti has given. Yes, others can also try. Okay. That app link and all I think I sent to everybody. एक बार देख लेना. Where you see that compiler का link. In that compiler link itself you have app ka link. App. Okay, everybody. So these two things are confirmed. Anything else you can let me know. Okay, बच्चों. बढ़े आगे everybody. All of you. चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं. हाँ. Rule 14 sub rule 2. Rule 14 sub rule 2. Ready बच्चों? All of you okay? आ जाओ. States that aggregate in a financial year offer can be made with maximum to 200 persons. Max बच्चों how many? 200 persons. So how many offer letters बच्चों we can send in a year? Only 200. Who are बच्चों not counted बच्चों in that limit? QIB and employees for whom we are giving that ESOP shares. अरे हाँ है ना? So QIB and ESOP, these will not be counted in the upper limit of 200. Then very important बच्चों, the limit is per type of security. That means बच्चों for equity shares I can give offer to 200 people. For debentures I can give offer to बच्चों another 200 people. For convertible preference share I can give बच्चों offer to another 200 persons. Are you getting my point? So it is not cumulative all in totality all the offers during the year. It is बच्चों all the offers for that particular type of security. अरे समझा कि नहीं all of you? All of you कर लियो? बच्चों आगे बढ़े हम लोग? Alright. Then limit of 200 is not applicable only if the issuer is NBFC, non-banking finance company or housing finance companies. If the issuer बच्चों is what? These companies, then there is no limit, only of 200 applicable. समझा? Please understand there are from two point of view. One is बच्चों from issuing point of view. That means who is the issuing company or private office? Who is this company? NBFC or HFC. Then there is no limit, only applicable. It can give offer to more than 200 people also. And secondly, बच्चों was from whose point of view? Recipient's point of view. The recipients are QIB or employees. And बच्चों also on the company there is no limit applicable of 200. समझा बच्चों? अरे बच्चों बोलो हुआ क्या? समझा क्या? ठीक है चलो आ जाओ. किधर थे हम लोग? Chapter 7 I hope you've already covered or you're covering from my channel. You can go in the live section and scroll down a little bit. It is just 7 days old, 7 or 8 days old. Okay, everybody? बढ़ो आगे. चलो. And those who are watching recorded, please वीडियो को लाइक कर दिया करो. And please keep sharing. रेडी आगे बच्चों हम लोग आगे बढ़े. Rule 14.3. A private placement offer cum application letter shall be in form of PS4. Or this we have already seen. Serially numbered and addressed specifically to the person to whom the offer is made and shall be sent to him either in writing or electronic mode within 30 days of recording the name of such person as per section 42(3). That means once you have to give the name of the person to whom you're going to give the offer. Now, once you have recorded the name to whom you're going to give the offer, from that date, within 30 days, within 30 days, you should actually give the offer to that person. Okay. Proviso: no other person other than person so addressed in the private placement offer shall be allowed to apply through such application form, and any application form not conforming with this condition shall be treated as invalid time. But that means what, bacho? That offer letter is that person specific. Nobody else can use that offer letter to apply for shares if his own name is not mentioned on that offer letter. Simple. So again, not that great. Okay. Please keep this thing in mind. 30 days. Now, whenever or whoever's name is mentioned in that with the company's record, then we are going to send him the offer. So once that name is registered, then much within 30 days you should actually send the offer. Then company shall maintain a complete record of private placement offers in form PS5. PS4 क्या था बच्चों? PS4 था ऑफर लेटर. PS5 क्या है? Records. है ना बच्चों? All of you okay till here? A company shall issue private placement offer come application letter only after relevant SR has been passed. Relevant SR or BR. But why do you require BR? Remember, on just on we did now. If you are issuing NCD, है ना, less than the limit of 181C, then you don't require SR. Only बच्चों BR is sufficient. समझे क्या बच्चों? All of you okay? यार बोलो फटाफट बच्चों. Everybody. ठीक है? आगे 42(4). All monies payable towards subscription or securities under this section shall be paid through check or DD only or other banking channels, but not cash. Important star mark. Here the MCA or the government wishes to know the record to whom these shares are being issued. Is the black bachcho getting converted into white? That's why bachcho, we don't allow the shares to be sold in cash. Impossible. There was one more here, you can say amendment over here, which I already included in my textbook. No offer shall be given to any body corporate, or you can say comma, national of a country sharing land border with India. Sri Lanka bachcho is not sharing land border with India. So who do we have? Pakistan, China, Nepal, Bhutan, and what? Myanmar. Okay? Yeah. So we will not give bachcho offer to any company or any body corporate registered in those countries. Or who bachcho? Any national of those country, है ना? Any citizen of those country, unless the invitee bachcho take prior approval from government as per FEMA rules, है ना? And attach such approval to the private placement offer come application letter. That means they have to bachcho attach that approval from the government. Samjha? So we don't want to, what you can say, risk it. We don't want anybody else bachcho buying our shares without us knowing, or they should not be very much, you can say, suspicious. That's why. चलो आगे बढ़े हम लोग बच्चों. Rule 14, sub rule 5. That the payment to be made for subscription to securities shall be made from bank account. Pay attention, very, 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 very important. Payment for subscription shall be made from the bank account of the person subscribing to the security. That means if the husband is applying for shares and paying from wife's account, not allowed. The applicant has to pay from his or her own bank account. Very important. Very important. Again, you are trying to find out exactly who is this person who wishes to buy the share, or to whom the account, to whom the shares are offered. Okay. And the company shall keep the record of the bank account. It is all government which is keeping track from where such payment for subscription has been received. In case of joint holders, it is provided that monies payable on subscription to securities to be held by joint holders shall be paid from the bank account of the person whose name appears first. It is but not name. It is not age wise. But the shares are jointly offered. But what did I say? If the shares are jointly offered, then it will be bacho taken from bank account of that person whose name appears first in the offer. Samjha ki nahi samjha? Very important. It is not age wise or etc. It is what? Whose name bacho appears first. Clear till here? It is further provided that provisions of sub rule 5 shall not apply in case of issue of shares for consideration other than cash. मतलब ये सब तुमको follow करने की जरूरत नहीं है. Because common sense, if at all you are giving the shares for other than cash, that means you are getting some other things, not cash. So there is no question of bank account, etc. if the other party is not paying by cash or by it is paying by some other method, giving property or copyrights, etc. हुआ? Next one important, 42.5. No fresh offer or invitation under this section shall be made unless the allotments with respect to any offer or invitation made earlier have been completed, or that offer or invitation has been withdrawn or abandoned by the company. That means you can't keep two offers open at a time. You can't. Or you can't do allotment until बच्चों earlier offer is open or earlier offers allotment is still pending. कुछ समझा कि नहीं? So if the first offer is done and allotment is pending, you can't give बच्चों a second or third offer. समझा? You have to close बच्चों first business. Then only बच्चों can go ahead and start new business. Business means offers. ODP. Bangalore. Comment फटाफट. Thumbs up. Quickly बच्चों. Come on, come on, come on. बोलो बच्चों फटाफट बोलो. ठीक है. Important, but this is important. Subject to upper limit of 42. That means that 200 persons. Company may at any time make more than one issue of securities to such class of identified person. That means it is not just one offer during the financial year. You can do multiple issues during the financial year. But the upper limit बच्चों is what 200. That just keep that much in mind. हुआ? 42.6. Important. Very important. Ready? आ जाओ. The company shall allot. Allot करना पड़ेगा. You have to do the allotment within 60 days from the date of receipt of application. From the date of receipt of application money. अरे हाँ है ना? So whenever the company got money, it has to बच्चों actually allot the shares within how many days? 60 days. Okay, everybody? अरे बोलो हाँ. If did not allot, it shall repay बच्चों within next 15 days from the date of completion of 60 days, or else pay interest at the rate of 12% from the expiry of 60 days. समझा ऊपर से गया ये. And just draw a timeline here. Here बच्चों let us say application money received बराबर है. Then बच्चों from here you have how many days? 60 days. Allot बराबर है कि नहीं? All of you okay here? If बच्चों within the 60 days बच्चों not allotted बच्चों what you should do? Then within next 15 days, next I said 15 days, refund. And but even if you don't refund within this period, then you have to refund obviously, but with interest. Interest also applicable. Interest at the rate of bolo मुझको 15 ना? नहीं sorry 12%. But from which day? From expiry of 60 days. From expiry of 60 days. सभी को समझा कि नहीं समझा? बताओ फटाफट. When you receive the application money, you have to refund within, not refund, allot within 60 days. If you have not done the allotment, then within the next 15 days, you should refund. And even if you have not done the refund in the next 15 days, then you have to do the refund along with interest. But from 61st, the interest will be charged. The interest will be charged from 61st day. अरे हाँ या ना? All of you clear earlier? बच्चों बोलो everybody. Yes? बढ़ू आगे मैं? I think we had also made a table of that percentage, 12%, 15%, 18%. किया था कि नहीं बच्चों अपन ने? Percentage, limits, interest. ये देखो 12, 15 and 18. अरे हाँ है ना? We had written down this in the notebook. Okay, during the batch. So I think I've shared this with you. So please keep this with you. Okay, everybody. बढ़ू मैं आगे? हाँ, ये क्लियर हुआ ना बच्चों? हाँ. Proviso. Money is received on application under this section shall be kept in a separate bank account. This is very much logical, simple. There's always the rule, no problem about it. है ना? And the money you will never utilize for that other than allotment or refund. Bas simple है. Okay, so repayment, that is refund, or adjustment against allotment. There will nothing else done out of that money. No company issuing securities under this section shall release any public, common sense, any public advertisement or utilize any media, marketing, etc. to inform the public at large about such issue. Common sense, otherwise it will be treated as what? Public offer. है कि नहीं? And public You can say all the rules will be applicable. Common sense? Yes. आगे बढ़े हम लोग. The company shall बच्चों file registrar with registrar a return of allotment in PS3. बच्चों now here you have 15 days. Important. If you look at बच्चों PS3 in section 39, we have done today only allotment. Over there बच्चों the due date is 30 days. अरे हाँ है ना बच्चों, tell me. If you go back to section 39 or somewhere you had seen it just now, return of allotment किया था ना बच्चों, आज ही तो किया अपन ने. Yes, check here. Return of allotment. In PS3 here we have 30 days. In section बच्चों which one? 39. अरे हाँ है ना, please be very careful over here. Same form बच्चों has different due dates. Same बच्चों form has what different due dates. PS3 बच्चों in section 39 has due date of 30 days. But PS3 in section 42 बच्चों has due date of 15 days only. जेपा के नहीं? All of you with me? Okay बच्चों, अरे बोलो हाँ. So shall file with ROC return of allotment in PS3 within 15 days from date of allotment. Details of that is all okay. What is there in PS3 that you know? Details of allottees etc. है ना? All of you okay? बढ़े आगे हम लोग. चलो. If company fails to file return of allotment, है ना, within 15 days of allotment, then बच्चों all of them are liable. इसको स्टार मार्क करो. Some of you are asking ना which penalties are important. This is important. Company promoters, directors बच्चों, how much? 1,000 rupees per day. Max 25 lakhs. हुआ? The company's promoters and directors shall also be liable to for a penalty which may extend to बच्चों amount involved in the offer or rupees 2 crore whichever is lower. And company shall also refund all monies to subscribers within a period of 30 days from the order of the order imposing the penalty. That is okay. That is fine. Deemed public offer just now we have to discuss now. If any of the sections are not, you can say properly followed, it will be deemed as what बच्चों? Public offer, है ना? Any non-compliance of any of these sections. हुआ? चलो बच्चों बताओ क्या करें हम लोग? कौन सा चैप्टर करें? बोलो बच्चों. कौन सा चैप्टर करें? टाइप. कौन सा चैप्टर करें बच्चों? बोलो बच्चों, टाइप करो टाइप करो टाइप करो. ओके श्री रक्षा. You'll also find by the way playlist. मैंने अभी just delete किया उसको. If at all you think, if at all you want, I think there are around 60 lectures. बहुत सारे lecture है. I've tried to explain it again, all that, but it is in Hindi mix something. Okay. So वो तुमको भी मिल जाएगा playlist called as May 23. That you should also get it on my channel playlist. If at all you want that particular section in detail etc. ठीक है. आगे बढ़े हम लोग. Four will start then today. Share capital and debentures. And if tomorrow we finish it off by tomorrow, then again tomorrow we'll use it for chapter number 2, ना? है ना? We start chapter number 2 also. चलो अभिजीत इसमें कितने भाई कितने क्वेश्चन आंसर्स है of this chapter in the compiler? Which chapter is this? Prospectus and public offer. Prospectus and allotment. कितने पेजेस का है ये? Prospectus and allotment बच्चों we have 22 pages. So again like I said 22 pages है compiler में. So again we have almost 2 questions per page. Yes, still here? This gives a summary. Abhijit, are you using Abhijit? Vaishnavi Patil, are you using or no? Compiler. I hope it is helping you. है ना? तो जिनको चाहिए, you can always message me. Okay, I'll give you the link. चलो आगे बढ़े हम लोग. ओके, आगे बढ़ते हम लोग. नेक्स्ट चैप्टर बच्चों, रेडी ऑल ऑफ यू? ओके अभिजीत, हाँ आज कर दो फिर. Today I think whatever time we'll get today and by tomorrow max whatever. Finish off this chapter. चलो we'll finish at least कुछ सेक्शन यहाँ के खत्म करते हैं अपन. आ जाओ. 43. Okay. Kinds of share capital. Kinds of share capital. Ready बच्चों? What do we have बच्चों? Your equity and preference, है ना? In preference बच्चों we are going to have again lots of types in preference shares: convertible, non-convertible, redeemable, irredeemable, cumulative, non-cumulative, etc. Okay, so here we have nothing to do over here. I mean, from preference share point of view, mainly. Equity shareholder bachcho are also called as ordinary. Okay, or vanilla. Or bachcho also called as what? Classic equity shares. Okay, classic shares. That means what? They are classical. That means what? Kind of, you can say original. Samjha bachcho, all of you? Equity shares are these names: vanilla, or ordinary, or classic equity shares. Samjha? Now here bachcho we have with voting rights and with differential voting rights. Okay, everybody? Differential voting rights. Ready, all of you? Fatapat. Chalo. Now with voting rights means what bachcho? Uniform. है ना? Voting uniform voting right means what? One share is one vote. Clearly here? But in DVR bachcho, one share is not vote. One share is not one vote. In DVR bachcho it is not. One share is not one vote in DVR. Okay, everybody, that is what we are going to do today. बढ़े आगे. Preference okay. Preference time pass okay. चलो आ जाओ. Equity shares with differential rights. So what is much different over there? What is the different about their rights? They have lower voting power. DVR bachcho is what going to have your, I'll write down here quickly. DVR bachcho is going to have what? Lower voting rights. But bachcho, what are they going to have? Zyada more dividend to compensate, na? Yesterday, everybody. So companies bachcho are given offers. Companies are bachcho what are given offers that they can also issue DVR without diluting lots of, you can say, voting power. है ना? Without bachcho diluting what? Lots of voting power. That's why they have developed the concept of DVR, that if you want to raise money, you can raise, and those who are interested only in dividend or just investment and not actually voting, then for them it is a win-win. Okay, everybody? बढ़े आगे हम लोग? चलो. So this you have to buy heart. Important बच्चों. Conditions for issuing DVR. Important. You have to buy heart. चलेगा? आ जाओ. Authorization by AOA. That means you can't issue DVR without, you can't बच्चों issue DVR without AOA approval. चाहिए मतलब चाहिए. OR, one of the very unique and different things. OR is required. Okay, to issue DVR. Apart from that, bachcho, most of it you require SR, etc. But for DVR, you require what? OR. OR is sufficient. Samjha? Important. If company listed, then bachcho what? How will the OR be passed? Voting through postal ballot. I hope postal ballot, remember bachcho, it is what? Just a method or technique of voting. Okay. DVR shall not exceed 70% of total voting power. That means the people holding DVR, I'll repeat, the people holding DVR shall not get voting power more than 74%. All the DVRs in the company, cumulative, their बच्चों voting power is restricted to 74% of total voting power of the company. कुछ समझा कि नहीं समझा? That means बच्चों, tell me whether the DVR people, that means those who all of them holding DVR, can they by themselves pass SR? Tell me बच्चों, फटाफट बताओ बच्चों. Can the people holding DVRs, can they बच्चों by themselves pass SR? बोलो. No. All of you okay till here? Tanushri, Srujan, Sriraksha, Samita, Bhavya, Trisha वाले सब ठीक है ना? All of you okay ना? Trisha, Udupi and Mangalore, all okay? So DVR shares shall not exceed 74% of total voting power. Then compliance बच्चों should not be pending of any of the earlier years. Which one? Check. Annual return section 92. FS बच्चों filing with ROC section 137 है ना? For last 3 years minimum. Okay, good. In which the last 3 years compared to the year in which you are going to issue DVR. Company has not defaulted in paying dividend. My goodness. Okay. Or mature deposit or redemption of preference shares or debentures which are due and or interest thereon. समझा? That means if there is any default, you can't issue DVR. Nagesh, good evening. All of you okay till here? चलो वीडियो को लाइक कर दिया ना सभी ने? All of you? Where on whichever channel you are watching the videos, like कर दो, ठीक है? आगे. Then company is not defaulted in paying dividend or on preference shares. Okay, what would they have guaranteed? Loan from public financial institution or state level financial institution or scheduled bank which is due. Okay, or even mature or any interest thereon. So principal also not pending as well as interest also not pending. Statutory payments of employees. Tell me bacho. Give me example of this quickly. Statutory payments of employees. Fatafat. Give me some at least one example of this bacho. Statutory payment of employees, because they can make a case study out of this. That XYZ amount is pending, so bacho, we have to understand it is part of statutory payment of employee. What is this? Tell me bacho, all of it tell me. Very good, Arya. Arya is very fast, huh? Jackass. रेडी? आगे बढ़े हम लोग. हाँ, एम्प्लॉय प्रोविडेंट फंड बच्चों. प्रोविडेंट फंड कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशन इज इट दैट बच्चों स्टैट्यूटरी पेमेंट ऑफ एम्प्लॉई है ना बच्चों? क्लियर ऑल ऑफ यू? और ग्रेचुइटी और वॉट एवर एनीथिंग एल्स. ओके, और बोनस, वॉट एवर इट इज, वॉट एवर इट हैज बीन अग्रीड. तो स्टैट्यूटरी पेमेंट्स ऑफ एम्प्लॉइज. देन crediting to IEPF. This should not be delayed, is what we are saying. All of the compliance should not be delayed. Crediting to IEPF, है ना? Company can issue DVR only after 5 years from the end of the financial year in which the loss was made good. Very important. Very important. First of all, but you can't issue new DVR until any kind of amounts are pending, like dividend, loan from bank, debentures, or redemption of preference shares. All of these amounts are due. You can't issue DVR. Then, secondly, even if you make good the loss, that means you bring everything on track, still but you can't issue DVR immediately. There will be bacho holding period or cooling period of how much? 5 years from the end of the year in which you have rectified the default. कुछ समझा क्या नहीं? 5 years बच्चों from what? End of the year in which you rectified the default. All of you okay clear? समझे कि नहीं all of you? ठीक है? Everybody? बढ़ो मैं आगे बच्चों. हाँ, very important ना? Please underline this line. 5 years from the end of the year in which the loss was made good. Okay, chalo. Then company has not been penalized by court or tribunal during the last 3 years, not found guilty by the court in the last 3 years for any offense under so and so act, RBI, SEBI, SCRA, FEMA, or any other special act. Special act बच्चों banking, electricity, insurance, etc. है ना? Fine. Restrictions important. The company shall not convert its existing equity share normal regular into DVR and vice versa. That means you can't convert them. That means if at all you want to give DVR, तो बच्चों क्या होगा? You have to issue freshly new shares for DVR. You can't convert classic equity shares into DVR and vice versa. हुआ? All of you okay? आगे बढ़े हम लोग? Yes. Certificate of shares is fine. Time pass. I think you can do it on your own also. कुछ खास बात नहीं उसमें. Nothing great. आ जाओ. Member versus shareholder. I'll just tell you बच्चों what is the main difference. Whose name is mentioned in ROM is member. Whose name बच्चों is not in mentioned in ROM is बच्चों called simply was shareholder. Clear? Who gets बच्चों all the rights? Member or shareholder? Tell me बच्चों. Who gets all the rights? Member or shareholder? Who gets बच्चों all the rights? Member or shareholder? Who gets all the rights बच्चों? Member or shareholder? Member. ठीक है बच्चों? Right shares, bonus shares, dividend बच्चों is always given to member, not shareholder. ठीक है? All of you fine? Good. बढ़े आगे? Sorry. राइट्स एंड वेरिएशन ऑफ राइट्स इंपॉर्टेंट. ये भी सेक्शन बच्चों इंपॉर्टेंट है. ठीक है, ये सेक्शन भी इंपॉर्टेंट है. आ जाओ बच्चों. रेडी? राइट्स एंड वेरिएशन ऑफ राइट्स. वोटिंग राइट्स. Sorry. Every member of a company limited by shares who is holding equity share capital shall have a right to vote on every resolution. बच्चों which share? Equity. Preference shareholders बच्चों do not get any voting rights normally. Equity shareholder बच्चों gets all the voting rights, all normally. Okay, so shall have a right to vote on every resolution placed before the company, and his voting right on the poll shall be in proportion to his share in the paid up share capital. That means simple. One share is one vote. So more number of shares you have, more voting rights. Simple. Clear all of you? Okay clear? बोलो हाँ. आगे जाऊँ मैं? Every member of the company limited by shares who is holding preference share capital shall have a right to vote only on resolutions placed before the company which directly affects the rights attached to his preference shares. That means their mutual dividend is increased, their dividend is decreased, then something about redeemable is converted into irredeemable, etc. Whatever it is, convertible into non-convertible, whatever they have made changes to the preference shareholder, then only on those resolutions even the preference shareholders can vote. That means matters which affect the preference shareholder. Is it okay all of you? But again, and which all other matter? Any resolution for the winding of the company. The members are going to decide we want to wind up or no. They are also the owners, na? The equity, the preference shareholders are also still owners only. So when these case in that case they can vote. Or for repayment or reduction of its equity preference share capital, that is reducing their own voting power. Then one more thing, when they can vote, check here. Where is it? If the dividend is not paid to preference shareholders for 2 years or more, by heart this. Important. If just 1 year's dividend is pending, then that they will not get voting rights. But if 2 years dividend is pending, then preference shareholders will or can vote in every matter. Their voting right will be as if they are equity shareholders. बच्चों समझा गया? All of you okay till here? अरे बोलो. हाँ, बढ़ू मैं आगे. Section 47 बच्चों, variation of voting rights is not applicable to private limited company, only if so provided in AOA. Okay, what is voting rights बच्चों? Pay attention. Who gets all the voting rights? Equity. Then DVR बच्चों get limited voting rights but more dividend. Preference shareholders बच्चों get no, you can say voting rights etc. All these things can be changed for a private company if only it is approved by AOA. That means you can customize the section, customize the shares or the type or the voting powers on shares. You can literally customize it. You are allowed to do that. Okay. Only if you are a private, there are two conditions. Only if you are a private company and it is authorized or allowed by AOA. समझा? आगे बढ़ो. आगे. Variation in shareholders' rights. Okay, so says check rights attached to one or more classes of shares may be amended depending upon the requirements of the company. Example: conversion of equity shares to redeemable preference shares, conversion of redeemable preference shares to convertible preference shares, etc. I mean, these are obviously lots of examples are there over there. Okay. Now here, whoever's right you are changing, you want that class or categories consent. समझा क्या? Whoever's right you are changing, you require the consent of that class or category. So check. The rights attached to the shares of any class may be changed with the consent in the writing of the holders of not less than 3/4 of the issued shares. Clearly, everybody? So whoever have or whatever group have 3/4 of the issued shares of that class, है ना? Then बच्चों they can vote in favor or against that they want to change the rights or not of the or of that shares, है ना? Or by passing of SR. Now बच्चों I hope you understand meaning or difference between बच्चों what? Not less than 3/4 of the issued shares or passing of SR. But what is common between both of them? 3/4 is 75%. So बच्चों in SR बच्चों what do you require? 75%. So what is the बच्चों difference quickly? Tell me बच्चों what is the difference between the 3/4 of issued shares or passing of SR? Tell me quickly. Other than Kamte and Arya, you're only answering. Others Sashant, Nagesh, Shikha, Tanushri, Sri Raksha, Srujan, Samhita. बोलो बच्चों what is the difference फटाफट tell me बच्चों फटाफट बताओ come on what is the difference बच्चों between 3/4 majority of the shares or SR type everybody anybody somebody अब बताओ भाई आर्य अभिजीत you tell me now Vaishnavi Patil are you there Patil madam Shikha Shashant Nagesh बोलो बच्चों what is the difference between 3/4 of the members of the issued shares or SR anybody बोलो 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 फटाफट nobody so बच्चों in SR what will happen entire company will vote when we say SR that means बच्चों it is meeting of the entire company and then meeting which everybody will vote even if they do not belong to that class कुछ समझा कि नहीं everybody so first very nicely politely but we are asking that class only that you approve but if they do not approve बच्चों then the company can go to entire company and pass what SR कुछ समझा कि नहीं yes correct Abhijit so SR means what बच्चों everybody will vote and the entire company all the members of the company will vote okay and 3/4 बच्चों means only of that class did you understand now please tell me फटाफट quickly comment करो बच्चों फटाफट comment करो those who understood please come on reply अरे कुछ तो तुम्हारे reactions तो दो reactions you have heart है ना smiley whatever you have good बढ़ो आगे चलो if provisions for such variation is allowed in MOA AOA ठीक है however if that is not clear cut specifically given in MOA AOA at least no is also not said that such variation which is not prohibited by the terms of issue of that class that means see when can you make the changes only if it is allowed by MOA AOA okay everybody but even if it is not clear cut given by MOA AOA yes still here at least it was not prohibited that means no was not said that we cannot change the rights except this is also not said in the time at the time of issuing of those shares समझे क्या बच्चों secondly आगे बढ़े हम लोग a variation of one class of shareholders affects the right of any other class of shareholders है ना so because of one class the other class is also getting affected the consent of 3/4 of such other class of shall also be obtained, उनका भी consent लगेगा. Because of class, let us say class A, you want to change your rights of class A shares, but because of that even class B is getting changed or amended or altered, then you require approval of that class B also. हुआ? However, those who are not happy, so where holders of not less than 10% of the issued shares of a class did not consent to such variation. See, बच्चों majority can be taken by 3/4 और बच्चों by passing SR, but at least you can say 10% of the issued shares, 10% of that class of shares of those people which are coming together and saying no, 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 this was against our wish. This majority people have come together and made the changes to the shares without our, you can say, consent. We are small shareholders. We could not make any changes. We could not make any impact. So if there are 10% of them, 10% of the issued shares of that class, the bachu can go to mummy, who's machu mummy, who's their mummy, tribunal. Samjha? And can complain or say that this change was without our approval or not in good faith to have the variation cancelled. Samjha? Now, in that case, if the matter goes to tribunal, then whatever the change the company has already approved will not be effective unless confirmed by tribunal. Okay? Now, when can you approve? When can you go to the tribunal? The application to tribunal which can be made within 21 days of passing of resolution. So, whenever the decision is taken in the company, from there, within 21 days, the dissenting shareholders can approach the tribunal to complain. Clear? Decision of tribunal shall be binding on shareholder. That means it is binding on the company as well as shareholders. Whatever the tribunal decides, that is final. Amendment, variation agreed or variation not agreed. Samjha? Okay. And the company shall within 30 days. The company shall what within 30 days of the date of order of the tribunal file a copy thereof with the registrar. So whatever the order given by the tribunal, that which has to be filed with ROC. That ROC has said yes or ROC has said no for variation in the rights of the shareholders. समझा क्या बच्चों? Within 30 days. Clear? Who everybody? कल तक हो जाएगा ये. उसमें बहुत सारी चीज़ें हैं अंदर, बहुत सारी चीज़ें डीप में है कुछ. That will finish tomorrow. As well as if time permit, then we start with chapter number 2 also. But day after I want to take GCA and interpretation. समझा? Everybody? All of you? अभी के कुछ 2-3 सेक्शन खत्म करूँ क्या फिर ये 49 51 वगैरह? बोलो बच्चों. टायर्ड नॉट टायर्ड? बोलो बच्चों. बोलो. आर यू टायर्ड नॉट टायर्ड? कुछ तो बोलो. एवरीबॉडी. चलो खत्म करते हैं. Let us finish these 3 sections 49 50 51. चलेगा? चलो. Calls and incidental demands matters. Sorry, call means what you demand by company. That means if the shares are not fully paid up as per the face value, है ना? They're partly paid shares. That means obviously the company has the right to call for the money during the lifetime of the company. Simple till here. That is the liability of the shareholder, no? Normally. So demands or calls are made by company on security holders to pay the amount called up in respect of partly paid shares. So what does section 49 say? These calls have to be uniformly made and there should be no differentiation for a given class of security holder. That means you can't just pick out one single shareholder and say you pay and the others but should not pay. That will not be okay. Samjha bachcho all of you? So if the demand or call is made, it will be bachcho in the entire class of those shareholders, not an individual or you can say picked out particular shareholders. All of you okay here? Are हाँ है ना? Then section 50. Company can keep advance subscription or call money received in advance. Is it bachcho called? No, it is yet uncalled only. But whether a shareholder bachcho can give the money in advance, yes. That is called as call in advance. That is bachcho called as call money in advance. Okay. If authorized by, please underline this. Please underline this. if and बच्चों if only authorized by AOA. Okay, if and only बच्चों if authorized by AOA. समझा क्या all of you? However, this is also important, I highlight this. No voting right allowed to a member. No voting right बच्चों allowed to member in respect of advance amount till the amount is duly called. That means nobody can pay the calls in advance and get their voting right increased. Because that is unfair, na? I'm getting my point or no? That means the person who has lots of money will increase his own voting power by paying the call money in advance. So please pay attention. Call money in advance. I'm repeating. Call money paid in advance doesn't increase the voting power. I repeat. Call money which you paid in advance doesn't increase the voting power. But called money not paid decreases your voting power. Which section? Call money बच्चों not paid decreases your voting power. Tell me बच्चों which section? Everybody. A googly question for you today. है ना बच्चों? बोलो. Anybody, somebody? Anybody can tell me. Or at least hint. First, you can start with chapter if you want. If you're not sure which chapter. Come on, guys. Come on, come on. You should know all of these things, basics. Or at least analysis. बोलो बच्चों, anybody? Section 105 or was 106, restriction on voting rights. Restriction on voting rights. 105 purchase for proxies, na? So 106, okay? You cannot restrict voting right unless there is some amount due on the calls. That's it. Or the shareholder is a debtor of the company and company has exercised right of lien on those shares. That's it. These are the only reasons. No other reason much apart from this. Clear all of you? याद रहेगा. So please understand, what did I say? If call money is paid in advance, that doesn't macho increase your voting rights. But if call money is not paid, okay, then that does call money not paid, that does macho decrease your voting rights. Clear? Huh. Here, aa jao. Thus, advance payment cannot lead to increase voting right, but delayed payment macho can lead to decrease voting right. Are ha ya na? If you want, you can just write down here section 106. Clear? ये सभी ने बच्चों वीडियो को लाइक किया है क्या? नागेश, शशांत, those who came later on, शिखा, हाँ, ऑनलाइन सब लोगों ने वीडियो को लाइक किया है? हाँ, ठीक है. त्रिशा वालों, ओके. 51. A company can pay proportional dividends in proportion of to amount paid on each share if authorized by AOA. That means बच्चों you can pay proportional dividend only, okay, to the amount of proportional dividend, to the amount paid on each share. Amount paid means what again? Whatever has been called and paid. Clear? That's what we learned in the chapter of dividend. That if the call money is not yet paid, then we can definitely adjust the dividend payable out of the call money receivable. कुछ समझा है ऊपर से गया? Everybody. That was which section? That we can adjust. Now there is exams. You can't have this time to think. This is from this which chapter, that is from which chapter, हाँ बच्चों? है कि नहीं? In those 3 hours, you have to write or everything about everything, including other laws. फिर tell me बच्चों, which section told you that it is okay to adjust the dividend payable out of the call money due? Then instead of paying him dividend, in fact, adjust the call money receivable from him. बोलो फटाफट, which section? Anybody? Yesterday only बच्चों we did, day before, when we did बच्चों exception of dividend, section 127, punishment for failure to pay dividend. Again, section 127. Section बच्चों what? 127. Okay. And it is okay if the company does not pay dividend because the call money were due, or we can adjust them against each other. All of you clear till here? हुआ बच्चों? Very good, Shika. Yes, fine. I think somebody of you messaged me कि सर वो कंपाइलर का ऑर्डर का कुछ इशू था, डिलीवर क्या बोलते हो, ऑर्डर हो नहीं रहा था. लेट मी नो बच्चों if anybody of you have that issue. हुआ? Tomorrow बच्चों I'll continue with this chapter, share capital and debentures. So मोटा मोटी all important chapters have been covered. I'm satisfied about that. Okay. Many students have problem with chapter 7 and 9. That also I've already covered. 10 also we did. है ना? Tomorrow I mean then we'll finish off remaining बच्चों. चलेगा बच्चों? और क्या सेवा करूँ मैं तुम्हारी बच्चों? बोलो. Everybody. Are these sessions helpful or not helpful? बोलो बच्चों. And thanks for sharing, बच्चों. Those who are sharing the videos or links with my WhatsApp. Really, really thank you to you. And please keep on doing that on daily basis. Okay, everybody. अभिजीत आ रही है, वो तुमको आ रहा है ना अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स वगैरह सब कुछ? अदर्स बच्चों, ऑल ऑफ यू ओके? अदर्स ऑल ऑफ यू ठीक है? ठीक है. और कुछ ठीक? एवरीथिंग बच्चों ओके? ओके कामटे, वेरी गुड. ओके थैंक यू. ओके गाइस देन आई थिंक दैट इज इट फॉर टुडे देन. अभी के लिए चलेगा. We will definitely बच्चों cover. We'll stay in touch even after these sessions. But please keep on sharing and store my numbers. So because I think I will be sharing the links on WhatsApp status only mainly, or some other maybe broadcast list I will send. Okay, good. Okay, Abhijit. Okay, fine, fine, good. Or okay, okay, Nagesh. But please keep on sharing the videos with all of your friends. Those who have, you can say, are they are in different or difficult position of their own studies, है ना? Hopefully this should help them a lot. है ना बच्चों? ओ त्रिशा वालों, ऑल ओके? कमेंट किया करो फटाफट. चलो गाइस देन स्टे इन टच. हम बच्चों कल मिलते हैं शाम को 6 बजे. टुमारो इवनिंग 6 PM we'll meet and continue with this chapter. And once it is over, then bachcho will also move to who? What? Chapter number 2. Okay, everybody? Please share the video bachcho as a WhatsApp status. है ना बच्चों? Please. If it is my request, sincere request. चलेगा? Everybody okay? चलो guys then. जय हिंद दोस्तों. Okay, everybody? Good night, everybody. चलो have a great time, all of you. पढ़ाई करो मस्त. Okay? Have your dinner. Take some rest. 9:30 बच्चों start your studies and finish off chapter 3 which you have done today ना बच्चों, है ना? उसके finish off all the question answers, or at least keep some target and then please finish it off as early as possible. हुआ क्या? Everybody okay till here? चलो guys, good night. Bye bye everybody. Bye bye. Tata. See you tomorrow. Bye guys. Good night. Bye 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 bye. All of you. Bye bye. Bye guys. Good night. Good night. Good night guys. Bye bye. Bye Vaishnavi, Shrujan, Samita. Bye bye guys. Good night. Good night Kamte, Shetty, Shashant, Arya. Bye bye guys. Good night. Bye bye.